somebody really betray you or they really show you who they are, and it's you who doesn't want to accept it, and you actually say it's betrayal, but you've actually showed me who you are, and I should accept that that is who you are, and put you where you belong.
Yeah, and they say when someone shows you who they are, believe them.
If somebody shows you who they are,
not allow them to show you again and
believe
again.
them.
Well, that's the conversation that we'll be having later on at 9 a.m. and we would love for you to be part and parcel of it. There's a number that you can be able to share your comments on the same. Are you the kind who believes that trust can be rebuilt or not? 0707303212 will be sampling those messages later on the show. My name is Vivian Degwa. Karibu sana.
And on the same note, let's talk about choosing the right insurance policy because it's important, especially if you want to safeguard your assets as well as your future financial well-being. How do you make the right decision, especially in a dynamic insurance landscape within the country? That is a conversation I'll be having with Kalai Muse, who is the Director Supervision at Insurance Regulation Authority. He'll be coming here to talk about that matter later on in the program. Remember, you can be part of every conversation happening right here on KBC Channel 1. Good morning, Marie.
Well, a very good morning to you all joining us here in Nairobi and across the country. My name is Maria. Of course, a lot lined up for you in as far as Good Morning Kenya programming is concerned. Victor with Matters Politics, and of course, Vivian will be bringing you Matters Trust, and that is just to do with social issues and relationships. You want to stay tuned for all that. I'll be bringing you up to speed with Matters News, and we want to begin with the 2060 blueprint of President William Ruto saying that he is defending, that is the government's proposed Vision 2060 blueprint, saying the long-term development plan will be anchored in the Constitution and protected from short-term political interests. Speaking during a church service in Uasin Gishu County, Ruto said that the proposed National Development Charter would not be shaped by the 2027 general election, but would instead provide a legally anchored framework to guide Kenya's economic and social transformation for decades. Here is our reporter Abdiaziz Hashim with the details of that report.
President William Ruto and a host of leaders joined the Christian faithfuls for a church service at the SK St. Stephen's Chepkoilel, Uasin Gishu County. It is here that the president revisited the plan to develop a long-term blueprint to guide the country into achieving a first world status.
It is not going to be a conversation about leaders. It is not going to be a conversation about political parties. It is not a conversation about 2027. It is a conversation about the future of our country.
Vision 2030 is coming to an end. We must have a clear vision.
The president emphasized for the success of the plan and to shield it from political machination, stating there is need for legal backing.
Ile Vision 2030 tuko naye ilifanyika kabla ya sisi kuwa na katiba mpya. Sasa tuko na katiba mpya. Na hiyo katiba mpya inatupatia maelekezo ya mambo ya maendeleo ya taifa letu la Kenya.
Kenya is dynamic and we are progressing, chasing our fellow colleagues that we started together 60 years ago.
The head of state emphasized the need for an all-inclusive process.
Why anybody has a problem with us sitting together as a nation? Are you against public participation? Are you against citizens coming together? Are you underestimating the power of citizens of Kenya coming together and discussing the wealth, the prosperity, the development, the future of our country? Or is it that you have no ideas?
Katika ile constitution walipitisha kipengele cha 118 inasema ya kwamba kila kitu lazima ifanyiwe public participation. So wajue ile umesema na inalingana na constitution.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, who was among the leaders attending the church service with the president, dismissed as baseless claims by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua that he has sensitive insider information on the state of the country's security.
Your Excellency, you had already posted on your Facebook very early in the morning that you are going to speak about the future of Kenya. now someone wants to posture around and lie to the people of Kenya who may not have had a prior information as such to say that he has very special information just because he wants to appear as if he is running some clandestine security sector.
Calls for peace and cohesion also dominated the summon. The president also urged governors from Elgeyo Marakwet, Nandi and Uasin Gishu to partner and co-host the October 20th Mashujaa Day feat. Abdiaziz Hashim for Good Morning Kenya.
Well, Abdiaziz Hashim reporting there. But before I go on to the next story, I just want to indulge my colleagues for just a few seconds. Vision 2060, Victor, Vivian, Mike. We also have Vision 2030. What's your take that we now have Vision 2060? We're not talking about Vision 2030.
First of all, it's good to look ahead and at least have a vision, because that gives you a direction of where you want to go. And as a country, we need to have a direction of where we want to go. Also, but at the same time, we need to take stock of Vision 2030, the misses, the hits. Where have we done well? Where have we faltered? How can we rectify that even as we move forward?
Okay.
I think with that, we'll be able to move forward as a country and achieve whatever we want to achieve.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you on that. I mean, even as individuals, when we're putting down our goals, you have short-term goals and you also have long-term goals. So it's good for us to look at, yes, the Vision 2060, but where exactly maybe are we supposed to be fixing? What is supposed to be put in place in order for us to get to that point where we get to achieve that long-term goal? And it starts by just ensuring that we are working on these short ones and ensuring that the short ones are also being catered for and covered as well. So I don't think there's a problem with having a long-term vision. Altogether.
Absolutely. It's like a blueprint of what we want to achieve as a nation. The late President Mwai Kibaki achieved Vision 2030, and way back then we thought it was going to be untenable, right? And here we are, we're just like 2-3 years away until we take stock of where we have been. And that is why the President is actually saying that we need to have a national conversation. When it comes to that national conversation, come to think of it, in the next 30 years, tutakuwa wapi?
Yeah, exactly. And Victor just have said it. It's an important conversation to have. I think for me, what can I say is different. I'm not so sure if of Vision 2030 is that it's going to be anchored in the Constitution. Yeah. And that for me is a conversation I've had in other quarters where I'm like, when you're comparing ourselves to other countries like Singapore and Korea and the rest, chances are that it's anchored in the Constitution such that every successive government must do something about that particular vision. But what we've been having is fragmented. So we have Vision 2030, yes, but everybody who comes, they start their own projects. Yeah. But we should have something anchored in the Constitution such that any other successive government comes in, then we have to hold you accountable to the infrastructure that was promised and every other thing. I think for me that is a good thing. Vision 2060 is good because, I mean, AU has the Vision 2063, so it's not bad for us to have Vision 2060, but it needs to be sold to the residents or to Kenyans, because ask any Kenyans about Vision 2030. I doubt if they're going to tell you anything about it other than, you know, fragmented information that they have. So I think Kenyans need to be sold to it to hold their leaders accountable. So thank you so much, guys, for indulging me in that. Let's continue with the news, where residents of the larger Nyanza region and other democratic movement strongholds have been urged to register as voters en masse to call the Orange Democratic a stronger bargaining chip, that is, in the 2027 general election. ODM leader Oburu Oginga, who graced a Thanksgiving service hosted by Homa Bay woman Member of Parliament Joyce Atieno Osogo, maintained that ODM must form the next government as equal partners, even as he insisted on zoning to protect the Orange Party's strongholds. Let's get the details of that with Joseph Okongo or Wycliffe Okech.
Sunday at Kenya the Young Comprehensive School grounds in Karachuonyo, Homa Bay County, Both locals and elected leaders gathered in a Thanksgiving ceremony hosted by Homa Bay County woman MP Joyce Atieno Osogo.
I want to say that the journey to Singapore is a reality, is a practicality because of what we are seeing underpinned on broad-based and performance of the leaders.
Tunaendelea kushikana mkono na watu wetu wa elected leaders tulete maendeleo kwa nchi yetu hapa Nyanza, Western na Kenya mzima. Mnasema nini? Tunataka nini? Tunataka nini?
ODM party leader Senator Oburu Oginga used the chance to appeal to the locals to register as voters in their numbers, saying ODM requires massive numbers on the negotiation table ahead of the next year's general elections.
And we are going to come through the front door strong, and we are not going to be beggars. We are going to have our fair share because of our numbers.
Oburu maintained that ODM must form the next government as equal partners.
Some people say we don't want zoning. If you don't want zoning, what do you want? We want zoning because this is our zone. It's Homa Bay, not our zone. We don't want order here in Homa Bay.
The electorate from ODM party strongholds were told to remain steadfast behind President Ruto's re-election bid for continued universal development. The leaders did not spare opposition leaders, accusing them of chest thumping and sowing seeds of division in the country.
Gachagua, wacha kiburi. Hii kiti moja umeshinda ya Olkalau inafanya uwe na kiburi. Tunajipanga na kuna mwimbaji aliimba, waliokudharau siku moja watakusalimia kwa heshima.
Safari yetu ni moja tu, kuhakikisha tuko ndani ya serikali, kuhakikisha hii gurudumu ya broad-based imenyakua 2027, kuhakikisha William Ruto ndio president wa Republic of Kenya.
Joseph Ohungu for GMK News.
United Opposition Front has castigated recent claims by a section of legislators that alluded to bribery to support the impeachment of former DP Rigathi Gachagua. The United Opposition says these allegations raise serious constitutional and legal questions regarding the integrity of the process. Elsewhere, DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua has dismissed President Ruto's Vision 2060 initiative, saying Kenyans are more interested in tangible action that resolve their current challenges. Timothy Kipnusu reports.
Democracy for Citizen Party leader Rigathi Gachagua was on Sunday at Murungaru, Kinangop constituency, Nyandarua County, attending a Holy Mass at St. Paul Catholic Church. Here, the former DP poked holes at President Ruto's Vision 2060 initiative.
Tumeona huyu rais ameenda pale kuleta Vision 2060. Sisi watu ya Kenya hatutaki vision, tunataka vitendo.
The former deputy president urged the government to focus on delivering immediate economic relief and stability rather than pursuing long-term visions without a concrete plan.
Wameleta mchele kutoka nje 500 metric tons ya mchele, ambaye watu ya Mwea na Ahero wameenda kotini wanaumia. Hawa wakulima ya mchele ya Mwea na Ahero, usiambie mambo ya vision ya 2060. Wanataka usimamishe kulete mchele kutoka nje. Mchele yao inunuliwe hapa Kenya.
Meanwhile, Wiper Patriotic Front party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has it out at a section of legislators who have confessed that they were bribed to support the impeachment of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
Yaani kiongozi mmoja kwa bunge amejitokeza wazi kwamba walikuwa wanaongwa wazi waende wakamtoe kwa mamlaka Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua.
Kalonzo said the recent admissions by a section of legislators raised serious constitutional and legal questions regarding the integrity of the process. He said such revelations clearly shows the whole impeachment process was neither fair nor legitimate.
Ikiwa viongozi wenyewe wamekiri hadharani kwamba waliongwa, wao kuanzia na Junet Mohammed should be cited as persons never able, they will never be allowed again to hold public office because wamekubali.
And a delegation of Wiper leaders, including Wundai Member of Parliament Danson Mashako, has met former Kenya Roads Board Chair Aisha Jumwa to seek her support for their party leader Kalonzo Musyoka presidential bid.
Na mazungumzo ya leo tumekuja kama Wiper na tumefurahia vile umetupokea. Na tuna imani Mheshimiwa Aisha kwamba utafanya maamuzi utakapomaliza kuongea na wanakilifi. Utafanya maamuzi ambayo tutatamani basi ukajiunge na chama chetu cha Wiper ili tukabadilishe ama tukakomboe Kenya.
In 2 weeks time tutashirikiana na Mheshimiwa Aisha, tutafanya mikutano huku Kilifi. Na by that time tunafanya mikutano, I'm very sure dada yetu atakuwa amefanya pia consultation na local leadership. So pia ni vizuri kusikiliza maoni ya watu ambao unaongoza.
We've had a fruitful discussion. Na I'm so hopeful that going forward mimi nitakuja kusimama niwaambie watu wa Kilifi kwa sababu hivi sasa siwezi kuwa na jibu mwafaka.
Kwa hivyo siwezi nimesahau. Elsewhere, a section of allies of President William Ruto from the Ukambani region have intensified their attacks on former President Uhuru Kenyatta, accusing him of orchestrating a political campaign to undermine the head of state, despite the support he received from Ruto throughout his presidency.
Leo nimeona katika magazeti Rais mstaafu Uhuru Kenyatta ati inasemekana kwamba amepangia rais aliyopo William Ruto, ati yeye ndio anachukua hawa na hawa kuwaeka pamoja ndio wamuondoe Rais William Ruto katika mamlaka. Nataka nikumbushe rais mstaafu mambo matatu. Jambo la kwanza, ukistaafu, kama wewe ni bishop na umestaafu, kama wewe ni mwalimu na umestaafu, heshima ni kustaafu na ukae nyumbani na uache yule ambaye amepewa kazi aendeleze kazi yake.
A cloud of shock, panic and anger has gripped Agoro Oyombe village in North Alego, Siaya County following a series of suspected coordinated late-night arson attacks that has left at least 5 homes destroyed and multiple families displaced. The shocking incident, which occurred on Friday night, involved unidentified perpetrators who allegedly set the residential structures and farm buildings ablaze while families were asleep. Police have since begun investigations into the incidents. Here is John Kahiro with the reports.
These are the remains of residential structures where families peacefully lived before the tragedy struck, now reduced to ashes. The residents are still reeling with the Friday's suspected coordinated late-night arson attack that has now left at least 5 homes burnt, livelihoods destroyed, and the hope of a community completely shattered.
Vitu yangu yote ya mtoto hiyo na yetu ya jikoni ilichomeka hivyo. Hakuna yenye ilipatikana hata moja. Hapa kwetu naona hii ghasia ya usiku hii imeanza kuwa mingi.
Among the victims of the inferno is Samuel Omondi Wadenya, a media personnel.
5, mimi nikastukia tu kama nasikia tu joto kwa nyumba. Na mimi nikazidi tu kulala, nikaendelea tu kulala. Tena naona kama hii kitu inaziaza vitu zinanichoma choma. Sasa kuamka hivi naona kama hii ni nyumba yangu kama inachomeka.
He recounts the chilling incident that completely destroyed his tools of work and crushed his dreams.
Mimi mashini zangu zote zimechomeka kwa nyumba. Sijui nitaanzia wapi, na sasa najiuliza hivi, kama hizo vitu zangu amjatusaidia, sasa kesho nikienda kuiba kwa mwingine waniue, mtasemaje?
A few meters from Omondi's homestead stands the debris of Kilion Odur Onyango's house. The boda rider and his family are lucky to be alive after fire engulfed his home during the tragic incident.
Mtoto akaanza kulia. Nikashtuka, kama nimeshtuka hivi, nimeona kama kuna moshi kwa nyumba. Mara hiyo nikatoka kwa nyumba na hiyo bibi yangu na mtoto wangu. Naomba tu serikali anisaidie. Niko tu vile hivi na mtoto wangu, hakuna kitu yote yenye nilichukua kwa nyumba, niko tu hivi.
This as the community expressed frustration and panic over increased cases of insecurity in the area, calling on law enforcement agencies to step up efforts in restoring normalcy and order.
Hii yenye imefanyika hii ya saa hii mtu kukuja kuchoma nyumba yangu na sijui nitafanya nini, ajui hataki kujua. Sasa ningependa saa hii kuna kitu kama CCTV naweza kuja tujue tu ilikuwa nani.
The region's leadership has vowed to coordinate with the Directorate of Criminal Investigations in ensuring the perpetrators are brought to book and the families receive the necessary aid to get back to their feet.
We want to ensure that all those people who are involved in this crime, they are apprehended, they are arrested, and they are charged. And we are going to ensure that that is done. Other than that, I am here with some support for the victims. We are going to help them to reconstruct the houses so that life can continue.
For Channel 1 News, I am John Kahiro.
And to a story of resilience. 18 years, that is how long alcohol and drugs stole Dr. Andrew Mwengwe Thuka's future. A brilliant student who scored a straight A in the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education watched his dreams disappear as addiction drove him from classrooms to police cells, rehabilitation centers, and mental hospitals. Many had written him off, but today he wears a doctor's coat and is using his own painful journey to tell thousands of Kenyans battling addiction that recovery is possible and that no life is beyond redemption. Let's get more details of that particular story.
When Andrew Mwengwe Thuka seemed destined for greatness, a straight A student who scored 82 points in his Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examinations, the future looked bright. But what began as curiosity while still in primary school slowly turned into a battle that will consume nearly 2 decades of his life. Cigarettes led to alcohol. Alcohol led to harder drugs. Soon, addiction had taken away his education, his dignity, his freedom, and almost his life.
Addiction is treatable, but majority of the society members usually treat addiction as a moral failure. Once you become addicted, they reject you. They start treating you as an outcast. They stop supporting you. They think that through their support, they are enabling you. By the end of it all, you are left to suffer on your own.
The years that followed were painful.
I was arrested multiple times, slept in cemeteries, remanded severally, taken to Madale, taken to mental hospitals severally, escaped, survived mob justice severally. All these are documented here. It also documents the family struggles and the damaged family relationships in our family, whereby I ensured that they never enjoyed any form of peace.
Then came a turning point. He graduated as a medical doctor. Today, he is healing the very society that once believed he could never recover.
The same book actually documents the turning points, breaking the cycle. How did I manage to overcome this addiction? And if you read the pages, through these pages, you'll actually be able to know how an addict can actually be able to get rid of addiction and how to survive post-addiction and restart your life afresh.
His story is now captured in a book titled Walking Through My Own Ashes.
My advice to anybody who have never started drugs, I say this: wakisema everybody is using it, I'm not everybody, and myself. Never ever take the first sip. Once you take, you'll get hooked, and coming out of that may be extremely impossible.
As Kenya continues to grapple with rising cases of drug and substance abuse, Andrew Mwengwe's journey stands as a powerful reminder that while addiction can destroy dreams, recovery can rebuild them.
Tumejikomboa na kusema kitu moja, hiyo kitu hatutatumia. Ukisema uambie roho ni kuamua tu, uamue hiyo kitu sitaitumia.
I want to let you know, do not give up on yourself. Don't lose hope. There is hope for you. There is hope for the other one. You can change, you can be healed from any addiction in your life.
Let's cross over to Kisumu, where Lake Victoria boasts of being the second largest freshwater lake globally, producing between 1 million and 1.5 million tons of fish annually. This number represents a small fraction of its total capacity, owing to the persistent threats of pollution, overfishing, and other human-related activities. But despite these threats, fisherfolk communities in Kisumu County have embarked on rewriting the story through the adoption of artificial intelligence in cage farming as an innovative approach towards fish farming. Our reporter Chola Simon brings us details of how technology is changing fish farming trends in Lake Victoria waters.
Thousands of dead fish trapped in cages have become a familiar sight in Lake Victoria's Winam Gulf, home to over 6,000 cages. The eutrophication of the lake is largely blamed on effluent from industries in the lake basin, as well as constant flow of fertilizer into the lake from agricultural activities around the lake.
When there is runoff, all this gets into the lake and they fertilize the water, and that causes the small plants to grow. And when they grow beyond what is the optimum level, we get the algal blooms, and this causes the water column to get deprived of oxygen, especially at night. And that causes fish kills.
To prevent further losses, the Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute has moved to pilot an AI-powered gadget stationed near Dunga Beach.
We observe a changing in trend in the wrong direction. An alert is generated from the systems that we have created, and it's automatically sent to the managers and even to the farmers to show them that oxygen levels are going down. Be aware.
The device monitors water parameters and sends early warning of imminent danger to researchers and farmers. Edwin Mafumbo, a leading cage farmer who has lost over 10 million shillings in the past, says the AI tool is a game changer.
It will give you the exact water parameter. That is the water quality, that is the water pH, salinity.
So you need to do corrective measures. For example, you can stop feeding, because when you stop feeding, metabolism goes down for fish, and they can survive a low oxygen event. If the oxygen levels goes even further below and we see that it might collapse, we send a critical alert to tell farmers either to harvest or to move the cages. The most practical is to harvest.
Tiny gadget is stationed strategically within 1 kilometer radius of the cages and is tucked in between the cages. However, he notes it remains reactionary. According to Mafumbo, relocating cages during an alert is time-consuming, labor and cash-intensive. He's calling for a dual approach to address both pollution and adoption of early warning strategies.
I was moving from this cage from one point to another. This one, maybe from here to the other point, it will take 1 hour. Now imagine if you want to move it for maybe over 1 kilometer. It will consume more than 4 to 5 hours.
I've moved twice. I used to be in the middle here, and then I went, then now I'm the farthest.
How expensive is it?
It's very expensive in terms of fuel, and then now when you are moving and it's fast, if it's an emergency, now you have to look for people.
Experts also warn that sustained pollution will most likely affect the growth of fish in the cages, which will have a direct impact on the size and suitability of fish to the consumers.
We used to harvest very, very big fish. Now, after they had started releasing their toxic substances into the lake, the size of course reduced. And we had done a research on that again, and we found out that the substance, it really affects the size of the fish.
But as people started realizing some profit from it, they attracted more entrants, and we have now many cages. And also not only the number of cages, the stocking density has increased. People are growing more fish from the same unit area, and you know that has an implication of carrying capacity. When you overcrowd fish, they don't grow because they are competing for oxygen.
Chola Simon, Kisumu County.
Well, in that story by Asona Achola Simon brings us to the end of the news this morning. Thank you as always for your time and your company. And just before I wrap it up, let me just give you results of the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. The matches played last night was between Cameroon and Ghana, and definitely Cameroon took the day 1-0, and Mali versus Cape Verde, where Mali beat Cape Verde 3. Cape Verde had, two. Today's matches, we definitely expect Kenya to play Algeria. You want to stay tuned to that particular match. Kenya taking on Algeria tonight, and Senegal taking on Morocco. Definitely KBC Channel 1 will be bringing you live those matches tonight, so you do not want to miss it. My name is Marie Yambo, wishing you a bright day, and definitely keep it here for more news updates. Have a blessed day.
The wait is over. KBC Iko Huduma Center. Starting with Nairobi, kupata huduma za KBC imekuwa rahisi. From digital guidance and signet services to booking of commercial adverts and documentaries. Visit our dedicated desks at Huduma Center GPO, Times Square, Makadara, Kibera, or Eastleigh. Tunakungoja hapo. Whether it's a casual announcement or a specialized media solution for your business, we are here to serve you. KBC at Huduma Centers, moving closer to you. Your station, your service.
Huh? Is it true? She's really a girl? No wonder you didn't answer the phone. It turns out you were idling around.
That is a straight move.
All right, welcome back. It's now 4 minutes past 7 a.m. Karibu sana back to the program. My name is Victor Lo. We are starting this program right now. As I earlier said, we have that one-on-one interview with the Cabinet Secretary, that is His Excellency Wycliffe Oparanya, who is the Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and MSMEs Development. Let's talk about matters concerning national concern. I have got so much to talk about. Let's talk about SMEs. Let's talk about Western politics. Let's talk about the circles. Let's talk about, the quest for a running mate that the debate has been raging out there. Let's talk about even the Vision 2060 that the President said that will be launched in a couple of days. Let's also talk about the issue of the progress in his ministry. We have got plenty to talk about in the next 1 hour. So talk to us on 0707 303 212. What are some of the questions that you have for the Cabinet Secretary, Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya Daktari? We'll be having that discussion with him shortly. It's already in studio. But before then, allow me to take you through the front page of the local dailies very fast. Let me start with the front page of The Standard. The Standard says that recipe for rigging, that is the front page of The Standard. Okay, there you go. Recipe for rigging. The Standard reports that a fresh bid to scrap the IEBC's duty to live stream polling station results has triggered alarm ahead of the 2027 general election. The bill, sponsored by Senate Majority Leader Aaron Cheruyot and Minority Leader Stewart Mazayo, is before the Senate's Justice and Legal Affairs Committee and seeks to remove one of the key transparency safeguards introduced after past disputed polls. Critics say that the move would make it harder for the public and the media to independently verify results, fueling fears of electoral manipulation. With the election less than a year away, its timing has intensified suspicion that the changes could actually benefit President William Ruto if the integrity of the electoral process is compromised. That is on the front page of the Standard newspaper. And the three gentlemen on the front page are Stewart Mazayo, who is the Senate Minority Leader. We have got Ethekon Daktari, who is the IEBC Chairperson. And finally, Aaron Cheruyot, who is the Senate Majority Leader. On the front page of the Star newspaper, the Star reports that budget pain as fuel prices remain high on global tensions. Budget pain as fuel prices remain high on global tensions. Fresh disruptions on key shipping routes threaten inflation surge. And that is what's on the front page of the Star. But again, something that we are also going to talk about, Ruto to critics, Vision 2060 talks not about 2027 politics. President Ruto says that Vision 2060 talks is not about 2027 politics. He was speaking yesterday in Uasin Gishu during a church service at the ACK St. Stephen's in Chepkoilel. And that is one of the things that I want us to talk about with the Cabinet Secretary here, his take on that. Finally, on the front page of the Daily Nation, 3.5 billion shillings a day borrowing spree. 3.5 billion a day borrowing spree. That is on the front page of the Daily Nation. It's a bit of a concern, as per the Daily Nation is reporting, that increased borrowing goes against President Ruto's pledge to rein in on runaway public debt. So President William Ruto's government borrowed 416.2 billion shillings from foreign markets in 4 months this year, translating to 104 billion shillings every month. The loans taken out between January 1st and April 30th deepen a raging financial crisis, with the public debt rising to 13 trillion shillings on the front page. So the Daily Nation has also illustrated the number of dates from February up to April 22nd, 2026. And finally, Linda Mwananchi. Enter Linda Mwananchi party plan. It's also reported that Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna's camp is exploring registration of Linda Mwananchi as a party ahead of next year's election. Members of the ODM breakaway faction have today scheduled a meeting with the officials of the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties. So that is what's on the front page of your local dailies. Go ahead and pick your favorite paper and read in full details for yourself. All right, let's get into the discussion. I remember, talk to us on 0707 303 212. Send your questions and comments on that SMS line. That is WhatsApp number, and we'll be sampling them. And right in studio, I have got FCPA, Dr. Wycliffe Oparanya, who is a Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and MSMEs Development. Let's talk about matters national concern. CS, karibu sana.
Yes, thank you.
Good to see you after quite a long time.
Thank you.
You're well?
I'm very well.
How is Kenya doing?
Kenya is doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right.
It has started raining.
Yes.
I was in Western.
Mm-hmm.
It's raining. People are planning. They are busy on their farms.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Great one, and good to have you on the show.
Yes.
So let's start with the question that is at hand. Let's talk about your ministry. Right now we have got your docket. Where are we? We are in the month of August. Mm-hmm. How is the government uptake? What is so far the general outlook of your ministry? How you're performing?
The ministry is doing very well.
Right.
And you know, recently, if you are aware, it was one of the most improved ministry in performance, and we got a trophy for being the most improved ministry compared to the previous performance, which obviously shows that the ministry activities have been improved over the last 1 year. Yes.
Which is quite good.
Yes.
And when you look at that, you've been championing the fast tracking of some of the amendments of the Cooperative Act.
Yeah.
That is supposed to have the historical, they've had that fight for a very long time. Where's the progress of such amendments?
Now, the cooperative movement in Kenya, it was one of the first economic model appreciated by the government in Africa. In that, by the year 1966, we had already a cooperative act. That was the first one that was there in 1966. Even before other countries woke up, Kenya was already ahead. And even at the moment, because of that, Kenya is ahead. But cooperatives movement was mainly in agriculture.
Right.
Because Kenya's farmers are smallholder farmers. So aggregation was necessary for them to prosper, coming together, aggregating what they produce for processing, to the market or to export. So the Cooperative Act then guided them at that time. However, the challenges set in, especially when liberalization came up. There were quite a number of challenges. And also governance issues set in. People are not moving. People are there elected forever. And therefore, it was necessary, therefore, to change, to make amendment, to strengthen once again the movement. And because of cartels, there are quite a number of cartels in that sector, the cooperative amendment bill has taken 15 years going to Parliament. When it's nearly to be passed, the period of the Parliament expires, then it's carried forward. So when I came in, I had to look at it, I had to recall it.
Yes.
And with what I had learned, I had also to improve it, because over 5 years, or 15 years, issues have also emerged, new challenges had emerged.
Yes.
So we had now to do a comprehensive amendment and resubmit it to Parliament. Now I'm happy that it has gone through Parliament. It has also gone both houses of the Parliament, the Senate and the National Assembly, and now it's at mediation.
Yes, yes.
Which means whatever happens now, because it has reached mediation, and the mediation committee has to finalize the bill in 60 days. So I'm hopeful that by next month, the mediation team will have finished their work, and soon we shall have an amended, comprehensive Cooperative Act. Yes.
But then that question also brings the issue of the legal framework. How is it going to safeguard the savers, the savings, of, the members' savings without strangling the financial autonomy in successful Tier 1 circles?
Now, I think there is a confusion here. There are two acts. There is the Cooperative Act, which is the Mother Act.
Yes.
And because the financial institutions within the cooperative movement became strong, a separate act was enacted in 2008,
yes,
which is called Circle Societies Act of 2008. So the cooperative bill is the mother,
yes,
and then there is a small section within that bill which now refers to the SACCOS Act, that now will focus on the financial cooperatives, which we call SACCOS. They are important because these are important institutions for financial intermediation at the low cadre. So we have the Societies Act 2000, which also is going through an amendment. And that amendment is now before the National Assembly. It has not even reached the Senate. But the cooperative bill is already being finalized. Now, what you are talking about now the SACCO Societies Act, the amendments that are before the National Assembly. Now, when I came in the office, you remember, we had issues of Cusco. Billions of shillings were lost through Cusco. Secondly, there were quite a number of SACCOs that were undergoing problems. And the major one was Metropolitan, which had lost about 7 billion shillings. Cusco had lost 13 billion shillings. This is not small money. These members' life savings. So, because of that, I had to look at the environment and what is happening. I appointed a task force that now was to look comprehensively what was happening in Kenya and also happening world over, because Kenya is one of the leading in SACCOs. In fact, in Africa, we are the leading in the world. We are number 8 as a country that has embraced SACCOs. So within those amendments now is when now we are focusing on making sure that we protect member savings based on the experience of Cusco, based on the experience of Metropolitan, and others that are struggling. And what we are doing now, like banks, we are now introducing the post-protection fund. So that now, if any SACCO goes under, then you revert to the post-protection fund, which will be sort of a separate entity managing resources, and the contribution will be from the cooperative themselves. Like the banks, you know, the banks, there is a contribution they do to make sure that if a bank goes under, there is something that you can revert to.
And this is also strengthening the issue of recovery. That when a SACCO or cooperative goes under, members will get their money back.
So that is already there. And there are also other critical issues that we have introduced in that amendment.
Okay. Still on that, what is the ministry doing to strengthen accountability in cooperatives?
The accountability is one of the critical issues, and this is to do with governance. Governance is strengthened within the cooperative bill itself as the mother bill, but also re-emphasized within the cooperative the SACCOs bill, the SACCOs Act amendment. Now, what we are doing here is that to make sure that those people who are elected to various positions are properly vetted. So that before you get into office as a board member, as a CEO, as a finance manager, you must now be vetted by SASRA, that you are a person of integrity. That's what never used to be there. You are a person of integrity. So, and then secondly, we are emphasizing training, that in your expenditure, quite a good portion of your expenditure must go for training. In that, all members know what is expected of them. So that the members are able to make the officials who are in office accountable to them. So they do that by making sure that they understand what they expect from them. If they understand what they expect from them, then it will be easier to make them accountable.
Are all of them actually compliant to the government rules and regulations?
I mean, they are supposed to. They are supposed to, because one of the issues that we are doing is to make sure that if you look at the Constitution of Kenya 2010, it says that cooperatives are are devolved.
Yes.
But that is a general statement. It will be impossible to just evolve them like that. But we have now separated responsibilities so that there are clear assignment of responsibilities between the national government and the county government.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about, because still on the MSMEs, you are actually aggressively pursuing the formalization of the small-scale traders in the country.
Yes.
I don't know what is your tangible incentive that you are offering from, beyond simple legislations for the smallholders.
You see, in this country, it's a country of smallholders.
Yes.
And that's why I think His Excellency the President decided that let's have a separate ministry that focuses on MSMEs.
Within your ministry?
Yes, within the ministry. That's why it's the Ministry of Cooperatives and the MSME, micro, small, and medium enterprises. Yeah, that is the MSME. That there must be a focus to them. In this country, you'll find that of the Kenyan adults, 20 million adults are involved in small business. 20 million, you can imagine. A very small fraction are in proper formal sector.
Yes.
And about 7 million enterprises are small business. And these businesses are critical. Even if you go to a country like Germany, you will find that all businesses are treated as MSME because they evolve from families. And gradually they develop into big companies. So nurturing them at that low level is important. So what we are doing in the country now, because of this focus, we are carrying out a survey to establish actually how many there are, because the last survey was done in the year 2016.
Yes.
And we cannot be using the survey of 2016. Now we are doing the current survey to know where they are, who they are, and how we can put them in clusters so that we make sure that we focus them in 3 critical areas.
Yes.
One is capital, because these people need capital. So we must sensitize them as a ministry and tell them, instead of going to Shylock, if you want to prosper, you cannot prosper through a Shylock. One, you can prosper by you members having a circle, so that within a circle, you have affordable loans.
Yes.
Secondly, to prosper and to focus on cheap capital, government has Hustler Fund, which you know is 8% per annum. We have Women Fund. We have Youth Fund. If you are prospering more, you can go to Kenya Industrial Estates and borrow up to 20 million. That's one. And then we have to focus them that when you go to business, you must understand the business well. And that's why, as a ministry, we are also in charge of developing entrepreneurship within the small business. So we have to tell them, as you start a business, how do you behave? How do you manage your finances, which we call financial literacy. Training is critical for them. So that entrepreneurial skill is very important. Then we have to tell them, if you are dealing in a business, you have to know your market.
Right.
You have to know where you source your products. You have to know your market is critical.
And who is the intermediary here? Between the farmers and the market? And who is the intermediary?
You know, the intermediary can be the cooperatives. They organize themselves. They can be the cooperatives, but the government is not the intermediary because the government just supports them. They can be an association or it can be an individual himself. So we have also told them that the world is changing. So technology is important. So when you do your business, think of how do you use technology? How do you write on technology, how innovative you are, so that you become more efficient in serving your members. That's how you will survive in the market.
Let's talk about that, because you recently urged farmers, when you talk about that, you actually pumped 6 billion shillings in the Coffee Sherry Advanced Revolving Fund. And when you talk about, the SACCOs and the smallholders, that is quite close to your heart. Some of them are saying that they are not getting that money. Where is the bottleneck here?
People will be lying. This is the easiest fund that you can get to. First of all, cherry fund, when you harvest coffee, that harvest, the red fruit, is what is called cherry. Now, that cherry goes through a process. You have to peel off that the red cover.
Yes.
That red.
The husks.
Yeah, you have to husk it out. And then through a process called pulping. You pulp it, you remove it, and it goes into a process. Then you get the emblem inside. You process it until you take to the mill. Now, when you get to the mill, you now roast it. When you roast it, you can sell it as roasted beans. After milling, you remove the entire, now you have the really bean. And that at that level is when we export. Most of it we export that at that level. But you can go a step ahead and roast. And then you roast, then if you want kahawa chungu kabisa, now that is what you squeeze in the machine to get really coffee, not like this. The real one. Ile chungu kabisa.
Right.
But you can also now crush the roasted one. Now you get the coffee like this, which now you can make your tea with. Now, that process can take at least 2 months. So, Cherry Fund was introduced so that as you go that process of 2 months, already you have some advance. So immediately you take the cherry to the cooperative.
Yes.
You can now apply for Cherry Fund to to KPCU. You apply to KPCU, you fill the forms, and within 24 hours. And you can do it on Mtandao.
But what was it? That it takes 2 months. You can do it online, take 24 hours.
Yeah.
But there is some complaints of delayed payouts and returns.
No. You must. I would want to know where there will be delay, because the government has put in 8 billion Kenya shillings. At the moment, the farmers have because it's a revolving fund.
Yes.
The farmers have only managed to access 5 billion. So which means there is 3 billion lying there. And it's a revolving fund, because when you borrow it, then the information goes to Nairobi Coffee Exchange. As soon as your coffee is sold, the money is deducted. So there is no bad debt. There's no bad debt. So even the managers of the fund are not at risk in any way, because they know they will get the money through the Nairobi Coffee Exchange.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe it is information.
Yes.
Otherwise, I don't see why the farmers should not have it.
And you see, Bwana Waziri, even the president talked about the issue of crushing the cartels. And you know how coffee is quite contentious.
There used to be cartels in it. There are still cartels.
Do we have them right now that is causing the bottlenecks?
There are still cartels, because and it is even cartels who have been a problem in making these amendments we are talking, in reforming the entire cooperative. There are people who have thrived on this sector. Because before, the farmers, there were people who were saying marketers, they would come and buy cherry, that cherry from the farmer, at a throwaway price of 20 shillings per kilo. 20 shillings, they come collecting around.
Yes.
They go and crush themselves and, sell as farmers when they have no tree. So that's how we are eliminating them. We are eliminating them by telling the farmer that you don't need to sell your cherry to anybody, there is an advance here, which is called cherry fund.
Okay.
Yeah. So that nobody should come to your doorstep that I want to buy your cherry.
Okay, you know your word is authority here, Banawazir. So what is the new cost per kilo of coffee
you see,
the farm gets?
At the moment, you are given 40 shillings.
40 shillings.
Per kilo of cherry. It's an advance. As soon as your coffee is sold, because coffee is sold on the auction. So auction, you can't go there saying that the price is this. The auction today, a kilo can be $110. Tomorrow it can be 120.
Yes.
Because it's an auction.
Okay.
But I can tell you that for the last 2 years, the coffee farmers have enjoyed prices that they have never enjoyed since independence.
All right. But Wazir, talking about coffee, we take a quick break so that you can also refill your coffee cup as we continue this discussion, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
I'm
let's take
happy.
a break. We'll break back. We still have a lot of coffee to take here,
Yes,
Wazir.
yes, I have no problem.
And
but you know, you are serving me with Nescafe. This is the cheapest coffee that you can get.
That's you are the boss, so you have to give us the refined one.
In fact, there's such a coffee should be banned in Kenya because this is the most cheapest coffee. And you see, it is from the last grade of coffee. We export it to Brazil. They correct it and
yes.
bring it back to us.
You know what makes me happy? Because we have you.
Nicely picked up by the captain. That's a good. It's just too close to the goalkeeper. The idea was fantastic. You see the player out wide. You see the space there. You just got to get the accuracy right. Otherwise, it will just go straight to an opponent. Play it down. Looks like it is Alouzi. Plays for Olivia Wynn in the United States of America, 29 years of age.
We knew Zambia is a really hard team. We know that the top three is an insane top three. They're super fast, super physical, and very technical. And we learned our lesson after playing with Malawi, and we knew we had to drop the line. And it was a hell of a game. Tosin played her heart out. It was unfortunate that it was a red card, a little bit debatable, but I'm glad that we were able to come together, even down a player, and get the win.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Hebu fikirie environment kama hii hapa Western Kenya, eti mtu atatoka hapa aende Nairobi kusoma university to conquer the world. Mimi Andrew nitahakikisha hiyo ndoto imezimwa. Tazama hayo yote kwa Gundu KBC Tuesday to Thursday 7:30 p.m. Leo sio kesho.
All right. Well, welcome back.
Yeah.
All right. Still here with Waziri Wycliffe Oparanya. Send your questions to 0707-303-212. Now, but Waziri, let's come back and ask you the question about the rate of loan defaulters when it comes to Ways of Fund, the Hustler Fund. What is your government doing, your ministry doing, to make it quite sustainable?
You see, what I found out that when people borrow government money, what they know that is government, they are usually very reluctant to pay. Sometimes they think that that's a favor government is doing for them, when actually there's good intention to help them. Yeah. Hustler Fund, when it was established in 2023 in October, the initial people who borrowed money, quite a number who borrowed money, disappeared with the money. And as such, we have hardcore of about 7 billion that that has not been repaid, has not been revolving. However, because we came up, the government came up with SHA, and some of the questions before we joined SHA, have you paid Hustler Fund? Because of that, we have managed to recover, and that figure has come down. Now, otherwise, those people now who borrow, the repayment rate within the time, because there is the time you have to repay the Hustler Fund. Within the repayment time, about 86% of the people pay back. Yeah? And because of that, because of now the experience that we have with the Hustler Fund, we have even graduated some few people to now a loan facility, a higher facility of 150,000. And you find that 1 million Kenyans graduated from being small borrowers to big borrowers within the Hustler Fund. So that now the financial intermediation is really working.
Yes.
And these 1 million people who are now graduated, they are borrowing up to 150. Now they are even demanding more. But we are telling them now, you can now, because you have matured, you can now go to the banks. So you can see that the Hustler Fund has done marvelous. People might not know, but Hustler Fund is one of the best financial intermediation that the government brought on board. Ways of Fund has been struggling because Ways of Fund, you need a group to come together, sometimes groups to integrate properly and borrow, each one guaranteeing each other. But it's one of the funds that has done well. Women Fund and Ways of Fund, they were before in my ministry, but they were moved to gender, and the youth one was moved to youth ministry, youth and sports. So the two funds just complement what we are doing with Hustler Fund and Ways of Fund.
Okay. All right. Waziri, are you the next deputy president?
How will I know that I'm the next deputy president?
Yeah, that's what I've asked.
I've not thought of it, in fact.
Who is pushing you for that position?
I hear people talk about it, but myself, because I know that office has already someone, and that someone is someone I respect, is doing a very good job, and I think it's premature to talk about it. But however, people keep on talking to it, about it. You have never heard me talk about it. Yeah, and in fact, the first time I was surprised when I was seated in a meeting, Junet just stood up without even me.
That was last weekend.
Yeah, without me even knowing what he was going to talk about. Then he talked about it. And I said, how did you now come up with this? an issue I would say
are you sure
sensitive.
Are you sure he just stood up and talked about it without your knowledge?
For sure, I can tell you I had no knowledge at all. And he has continued to talk in other environments, even without my knowledge. Even these people who have picked up, I can tell you, none of those people have sat with me. But they say they feel that ODM must get something big, because if we are coming into partnership, and the fact that ODM is not a small party, and that that UDA has lost quite a bit of Mount Kenya, they will need some compensation from another region. So they feel that ODM will compensate them, especially strong ODM areas, that is Western, Nyanza, Nairobi, and Coast, will do the compensation. And they say ideally then they should produce the deputy president.
Okay.
So I cannot tell you here that there has been some official discussion about it. I can just
what is your take on that?
I can just see people talk about it. They talk about it. And to me, at the moment, being a member of the cabinet under the broad-based coalition, broad-based government, I think our aim is to see and to work very hard to see that the current president is re-elected.
Right.
Because if he is not re-elected himself, this issue of deputy
and it seems that
will not arise.
The 50-50 arrangement that you have with the government is also one of the stages that you're saying that you know, those people are saying that they need to front a running mate.
Yeah, but
and the current deputy president is not so happy about it.
Yeah, you see, and you see, even the negotiations themselves have not started. So they should be realistic. And also be talking of something that is already on the table.
This will be one of those
on the
open
table
conditions.
and agreed. So if the negotiation has not, to me, they are sensitizing issue that to me is not critical at the moment.
But you see, the post of a deputy president is not a small position. You're the second in command.
It is not.
And ODM is a big party, as you correctly put it. So it's important to have that discussion right now, which means it is a soft demand before you go for the negotiation with the government.
I think what is happening is already, and you saw the party leader talk about it yesterday, already a team of about 5 people have been nominated from ODM side, 5 people from UDA side, to start the negotiation, to lay down the ground, to lay down the agenda of negotiation, so that now the politicians will now be discussing. So I feel the discussion of who will be deputy is premature, very premature, to me.
Okay, but then it's quite important because we are getting to the month of August, and under 1 year, all of us will be going to the ballot. But let me ask you this one, Waziri. I mean, yesterday we heard how former Minister Noah Wekesa, who is the chair of the Council of Elders, said that they have actually blessed Senator Sifuna. Is this a case of siblings rivalry in Western Kenya?
I don't know. You see, to me there will be no problem placing someone.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I was not privy to what you are saying. I never heard it, and I didn't know which placing, placing to go for presidency or placing to go for what.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, or placing to become a kingpin or become a spokesperson. I'm not. But you see, as I have said, this is an issue that has never bothered me at the moment. I hear people talk about it, but it has not bothered me.
Okay. Are you in for it? Are you in for it?
I have said I can't be in for it if something is not there.
Negotiations will come.
Because it's not on the table. If it's not on the table,
right,
how can I be saying I'm going for something that is not in existence?
You have been a strong official member of ODM, Banwaziri, and you are privy to a lot of information when it comes to ODM.
Yes.
So if any chance you are given that opportunity to be the running mate of President William Ruto come 2027, will you pick it?
Let's wait when the issue is on table. I can not just be chasing something that is
what
in the
if
air.
it tilts to your favor?
If it is in my favor, fine. But
Okay.
I cannot be discussing something that is just in the air, it is not on the table, is not in the writing. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you planning to do? Because Western Kenya produces one of the, a full basket when it comes to elections.
Yes.
Full basket of votes.
Yeah.
And it seems that that is the position that you are going for.
Yes.
To deliver the Western vote to President William Ruto.
At the moment,
Yes.
when I joined the broad-based government, obviously I became busy within the ministry to understand what the ministry required to make sure that we move forward as per the mandate of the ministry. But obviously, the next election is now coming.
Yeah.
And on 10th August, we start the countdown. So I had actually to retreat because I had hibernated. Now I had to wake up. And I've told people I had gone for holiday, political holiday, and now I'm back. So my first aim, first objective is to make sure that I activate ODM on the ground. Because when Baba passed on, and activities that followed, most of the MPs and leaders from Western thought they were defranchised because they were not very well included in decision making at that time. And actually, which was a mistake. And maybe it was because of the circumstances then.
Yes.
And the unexpected death of the party leader. Now, what I have done, because I have been a key leader of ODM within that particular region, so I have the network in the entire region. So what I have done for the last 3 months, 3 weeks, I've now started activating ODM at the grassroots level. Because at the moment, I have no option. But many people came to me that I should form my own party. And
apart from ODM?
Apart from ODM.
Okay.
And I thought that was not viable. And I could give them experience, could give them the experience of my brother Musalia formed ANC, formed UDF, but still it's a struggle. You can see my brother Wetangula with this
Ford Kenya.
It is still it is there with few MPs, and I thought I've played a crucial role in ODM. I've brought on board many MPs from that region. So if I
and do you feel it's still the same?
If I took off, then one. I will be betraying Baba. And I didn't want to betray Baba immediately after his death, because I've held various positions at the national level, courtesy of Baba. So I thought I should not betray at this early stage by splitting off to form my own party. So I said, why can't I revive the already existing party? And that's what I'm doing. Obviously,
of ODM.
It will not be the same because Baba is not there, because I'm also at the national level. So I have not been active, but I'm now active at the moment, and I can tell you,
and very soon we'll see you in your real element. Okay.
Yeah,
what is your take on Sifuna's entry to the national politics?
Obviously, when he left, he had been in ODM. He was holding a very senior position as Secretary General of the party. Obviously, there will be quite a number of people who will follow him because of that influence he had in the party. Yeah.
He said that he was unfairly treated and forcibly wounded out of the
that
party.
one I can't determine because I can't say yes. or no. But what I felt, because people from my own community felt that he was unfairly treated. The fact that he was moved aside from his position. And then secondly, at the same time, Osotsi, who comes from my own community, was also moved aside. They thought that they were unfairly treated. They were not given time. But whether they were unfairly treated or fairly treated, I can't comment because I was not a member of the executive of the party at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Daily Nation reports that the same Sifuna I'm talking about, Mheshimiwa, is that they are planning to meet the register of political parties today, contemplating to register Linda Mwananchi as a political party.
No problem.
That is, and Daily Nation that says that they have reserved, Linda Mwananchi reserved one of the three names by Sifuna team.
Yes.
3 of them.
Yes.
Do you think this is going to make the Western Kenya a little bit unstable for you, as you say that you want to deliver?
I can't say at the moment because me, I've been on the ground in 3 counties, which has been a bedrock of ODM. As you know, bedrock of ODM in Western has been Kakamega, Busia, and Vihiga.
Yes.
Bungoma was 50-50. Not much, because even Bungoma, we didn't have any member of parliament. We had only one MCA. Trans Nzoia, we had three MCAs elected, and I think one nominated. Yeah, so you can see the influence of ODM is mainly in Kakamega, which has quite a number of votes, and Busia and Vihiga, which is nearly a population of 2 million, which is not small. But looking at what is happening there, of course, you'll find that the young people are obviously excited because members of the Linda who are agitating for Linda Mwananchi are young leaders. So you'll find that the young people, majority will associate with them, but the older people are...
Back to the question of the Deputy President. You heard how Deputy President Kithure Kindiki talked about how he responded to that call last week.
Yeah, I was with him that time.
So he was speaking while you were also there?
Yeah, I was there. In Meru, I was there.
That's strange. So which means you're aware, and he was aware?
I was there, but you see the way he talked it was in general terms. It was not pointing at me, but although he mentioned my name because I was there.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
So if that is the position, let's come back to the issue now at hand.
So he was actually sort of making people there to know that I was around.
All right, I see. Do you miss Baba?
Obviously, yes.
And you're almost clocking 1 year since his demise.
Yes.
What do you miss about him?
You see, Baba, apart from being my party leader, he was my mentor, political mentor. But apart from that, we were friends. We were genuine friends. Sometimes we were intimate. We could discuss issues outside politics. It's not that every day we met, we were discussing about politics. We would discuss other issues, social issues. We discuss about businesses and so on. So obviously he was my close friend. And for the last 2 years before he passed on, we were very close. We were always together nearly every evening. And that's why, even in my own home, I created a room for him. I made an extension in my house to make sure that when he comes...
for him.
Yeah. And he could come there anytime. There was a time when he's campaigning in the Western region. He used to stay there for a week. Stay there. He was very comfortable. Yes.
Who sleeps in that bedroom right now?
No, it is there. We have just locked it. but because we are still mourning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's come back to the issue at hand right now. The president is actually talking about Vision 2060, Bwana Waziri, and he says this should be a national discussion.
Yes.
You were there when the Vision 2030 was launched by the late President Mwai Kibaki.
Yeah.
We are almost just 3 years shy of 2030. In your own terms, how have you fared as a nation, Vision 2030?
You see, you have said that I was there when the Vision 2030 was launched. I was the minister in charge.
Exactly.
That time. And I was the one leading the launch on 10th June 2008, when we launched the Vision 2030. Now, any country at the moment must have a long-term plan. There must be a path. If you don't have, if you don't plan, then you plan to fail. It gives you a general. I was surprised when some politicians were saying that we have not achieved what was in the Vision 2030. You see, you don't need to achieve 100%, but it gives you direction. Because within your plan of 30 years, there are changes that occur in the environment.
What are the key priorities then for the sake of
economic environment?
Yes.
There are issues that change in the economic environment, which you also need to change.
Yes.
So it is not fixed that you must follow that path, but it gives you general direction.
Yes.
And Vision 2030 has guided us in general terms, because what the government does, in the Vision 2030 itself, there are what we call medium-term plans. The 5-year plan, that is a circle of the political, he coincides with the political circle of 5 years. Within the medium-term plan, you look at the vision, you take few issues from the vision, and you also put in issues that are current. And within the medium-term plan, you also now reduce it to 1-year plan, which you now have 1-year plan that now you synchronize with your annual budget. Yeah, yes. That's what has happened. And you can see Kenya has moved on. Agriculture has been a focus. Agriculture, if you look at it, has continued to contribute to many employment that we have in this country, even if they are low paying, but most of our youth are involved now in agriculture. You can see the road network that has happened over that period. I cannot say that we have achieved 100%, but it has been a progress. So obviously, the Vision 2030 is coming to an end. So we must have another
let's take stock of that, because way back then in 2008 to 2013, you were the minister.
Yes.
And you actually spearheaded, you oversaw the plan, the launch, the institutionalization, all that. Where are we? Up to date. Today is the third day.
I can say that the vision, we have achieved most of the issues that were raised. Like constitution was one of them. That politically people should be issue-oriented, and we must have a constitution that encompasses everybody in the country. You see, we achieved. That was a major, major milestone. Constitution of 2010. It was a vision within that.
Yes.
Yes.
If President Mwai Kibaki would come back to life today, and that was then, and you sit right like this, what would you discuss with him? That Mzee, this is where we came from. What would be that discussion be?
I would say that I will thank him for midwifing a new constitution and making sure that the structures within the new constitution were implemented. When in the vision said that money should go, more development should go to the regions, county governments evolved. They came in. And obviously, the coming up of county government is a milestone in this country, that resources now are able to be shared between the national government and the county government. It is able to be shared.
Yes.
So I will be thanking Kibaki for that. The infrastructure that we have in this country, you can see from that time to now, we have now some of the world-class infrastructure in this country because of the vision that the then President Mwai Kibaki had. The development in agriculture, the irrigation that we are doing, that time, irrigation was not an issue. Now you can see smart agriculture is coming up.
There were 3 pillars then. The economic pillar was there, the social pillar, and the political pillar. What do you think should be transferred or should be moved to the next Vision 2016?
You see, I will still feel that the way they are, one of the critical issues that we are to look at the economic pillar still is agriculture. To me, agriculture should be the cornerstone of this country. It is unfortunate that at the moment we are still importing food. We are still importing maize. We are still importing rice. We are still importing wheat. Although the quantity has gone down, but we should not be importing these 3 products. We should
Kenya
be
should be
able
self-sufficient.
to produce. Yeah, because if you are a country and you are unable to feed your own people, then you have no business in being in power. That should be critical. That should be transferred. The other thing is that as the country moves on, manufacturing becomes very critical. Manufacturing is where people create wealth faster, is where people get quality employment. If they want to make more money, people get quality employment through manufacturing. So we should be supporting agriculture even at the lowest level. Supporting industrialization at the lowest level. Even if you have a potato mill, that's industrialization. So we should encourage, that's how people make their wealth, and that's how people are able to make their wealth and employ each other. So industrialization, to me, will be very critical. And then the social aspect, education, health, still critical. We cannot leave these 2. Because for the country to prosper, it must have educated people. For the country to prosper, there must be proper health care for these people. So this must be transferred or transitioned to the next Vision 2060. And also politics in Kenya, I think, has not helped this country. Ethnicity is very, very, very apparent. Ethnicity. We should be able to develop this country as a holistic country, irrespective of your tribe. You should be able to access any opportunity, whether you are from Mandela, whether you are from Kakamega, you should be able, equally, treating people equally.
Okay. Look at it this way, Bwana Waziri, as we all just coming to a close, when you look at the 3 pillars, where are we? What have we achieved in general terms? Out of 100%.
I can say that we have achieved about 80%. 80%. The budget constraint has been an issue. And you can see we have been borrowing a lot. And I think what the president came up with, this sovereign fund, infrastructure fund, is critical. And that is actually going to change this country. Kenyans do not know. Kenyans do not know. And I'm surprised that the political class do not talk about these issues.
I have a question here from one of the viewers saying that you once said that opposition is cold. Do you still stick to the same sentiment?
I once said opposition is called in what way?
Yeah, that people in the opposition should come and join the government and support the government.
We were, even us, we were in opposition. You know very well that ODM has been leading the opposition all along.
Yes.
But before Papa died, told me that politics is about personal interest, but as you look at your personal interest, you must also look at the national interest. And the national interest overrides the personal interest.
Okay. Another question. Samuel asks, I'm a beneficiary of Hustler Fund, borrowing and paying promptly. How can I bridge my loan to qualify for a higher loan? This should be direct.
Now, you know the Hustler Fund is a technology-based fund, technology. So as you borrow, pay back. As you borrow, pay back, your limit is improved. It's like Fulisa.
Yes.
Your limit can be 5,000. But if you are borrowing and paying, next year you will find you have been moved to 7,000.
Yes.
That's the same way Hustler Fund happen. Borrow, make sure you borrow frequently and make sure that you repay as required. If you are told to repay within 10 days, you must repay within 10 days. If you pay after 10 days, the 11th day or the 12th day, then your max is reduced. So it will be difficult to go to a higher limit.
Yes. Okay. There's another person here. This is a very funny name. Sister brother. I don't know whether it's a sister or a brother. The person called, I don't know whether it's a sister brother. That your entrance, the sentiments that you should run for the deputy president role in next year election is to destabilize Sifuna's influence in Western. Your take?
You see, I have clearly said this issue of deputy president is not on the table even. It's just a matter of people talking about it. And destabilizing Sifuna for doing what? What is Sifuna going to do? He has not declared that he's going to be a presidential candidate. And even if he's declaring a president, to be a presidential candidate, I've been in politics for 25 years. So I have to see, I have to make judgment. Can I support him? Am I supporting him as a brother, or am I just supporting him for the sake of it? Yes.
Okay. The final question I have for you right now. So Vision 2060 is here. Let's come back to that as we finalize. What should we expect moving forward? Because the discussion starts in a few
You
days'
see,
time.
what the president has clearly said, that he has already got a framework. Within those framework, there are few suggestions. There are suggestions there. And he's saying, he's calling a meeting of all the stakeholders on 12th of August. So that now, wananchi, various stakeholders can now look at that document and give their views. Yes. So I can now say, I can now hear, before you say, this will be the outcome. Yeah. But there is a general framework based on the experiences of the Vision 2030.
Right.
And then we will, the government, the president will leave it to the people, various stakeholders, to decide where do they want to go. Public participation is a critical element of our constitution. So that is what is going to happen. That public must participate as far as possible, so that what comes out is what people want.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bwana Waziri, thank you so much, and we wish you the best. You
Asante.
have a very long day ahead of you.
Asante.
You promised that you're going to give us grade A coffee.
And thank you for welcoming me here.
Karibu sana.
And I hope next time you will also give me a chance.
We will.
I think I have used this chance to clarify a number of issues.
Absolutely.
To the people.
Your advocate is very important because that you spearheaded the Vision 2030 pillar, and I think we'll be calling here quite often so that we can discuss more.
Can discuss this issue as we discuss Vision 2030.
Absolutely.
2060.
2060.
Yeah, but you have to change your coffee.
You promised to give us coffee. You promised to
next time I come, I will bring the coffee.
Thank you.
Yes, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Daktari FCPA, Wycliffe Oparanya, who is the Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and MSME Development, talking to us. Let's take a break. Good Morning Kenya continues after this.
There's the delivery, it's not bad. There's the goal for Egypt, they get it. That's a fantastic free kick from Mahir Ali. And how about that? They get the goal. Iman scores for Egypt. That was perfect delivery. And she was unmarked to the far post and heading basically into an empty goal. Missy Sekelo not well positioned. She couldn't quite get to it. It's a great header though.
Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Migwan. And we are glad that you're still watching KBC Channel 1. This is Good Morning Kenya. Now, let's talk about matters insurance, because it's often viewed as an unnecessary expense until, something happens. It could be illness, it could be accident, it could be theft, anything. But having the right insurance policy helps you or cushions you from potentially devastating losses. And when we talk about insurance, we're talking about insurance, be it an individual, be it a family or a business. It's a very important aspect. So how do you choose the right insurance for yourself or your business or even your family in a landscape that is dynamic? And when I say landscape, it's the insurance dynamic landscape within the country. For that conversation, I am joined by Kalai Muse, who is Director of Supervision Insurance Regulatory Authority. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you, Mike.
How are you doing this morning?
Very well.
Yes. And this is a very pertinent issue that you are talking about when it comes to matters of insurance. Maybe to start off, why does it matter? Why does insurance matter?
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Kenyans, for listening to me. Mm-hmm. Yes, insurance matters. It's very important for every aspect of our lives. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is insurance deals with something we call risk.
Risk.
It is a way of managing risk.
Mm-hmm.
And risk is something which accompanies us in every aspect of our lives. And by risk, we basically mean the possibility of danger or loss.
Yes.
Which is all over in everything we do. Whether it is our normal lives, whether it is our business we are doing, there is always a possibility that you can incur a loss which will cripple you financially.
Yes.
So that your economic status goes down. So risk, insurance is supposed to ensure that if the risk occurs, then your financial status is maintained.
Nothing changes.
Nothing changes.
Everything goes normal.
Yes.
And the insurance takes care of everything else.
Exactly.
Now, there's the aspect of now choosing the right insurance, which is very important. How should one choose the right insurance policy?
The most important thing is to understand your exposure. What are the risks that you face? Once you understand the risks, then the next step will be for you to talk to an agent or an insurance broker or an insurance company.
Yes.
So that now they can tell you what products they have which are relevant to your exposures. Because our exposures are not the same.
Yeah.
The risks I'm exposed to may not be the ones you're exposed to. So it's good to understand my exposure.
Yes.
Then I go to the professionals. I'll tell them I have this exposure. what do you have for me? And they will be able to get you something which is appropriate for you. Yes.
And this regard, whether you are taking it as an individual, a business, or even a family.
Exactly. Whichever has circumstances. Yes.
And, you know, finance is one of the things that determine so many things. And when it comes to insurance, should one just choose a policy just because it's cheap?
Mike, that's a common mistake people make. I see many people saying that I'll go for the cheapest. That is not the right thing. The right thing is understand your exposure. You may get the cheapest, then you find in the details of the policy, the other things you have not looked at. So it's good to understand exactly what is covered. Look at there are things we call terms and conditions of that policy. We will have excess, deductibles, a lot of exclusions. Understand all those aspects, because you may find the price is very low, but then there are so many exclusions. So it's a balance. Once you get the product, read and understand what is covered, and then you get the cheapest of what covers your exposure. Yes. And so it's not just the cheapest.
So actually one should ask themselves if the policy that they are getting is appropriate protection for their specific needs. Regarding the kind of policy they take. And when you look at matters that regard insurance, there are some things called exclusions. Talk about them and why they are important.
Yeah, that's important. You know, an insurance agreement is actually a contract between an insurance company and the person who is taking insurance. We call that person the insured.
Yes.
In that contract, everybody has a role to play.
Yes.
If it is the insurance company, there is what they are supposed to do. The promise they give.
Yes.
If it is the insured, there are things the insured must do. And that's why we call the terms and conditions.
Yes.
You are expected to do 1, 2, 3. Then the policy continues and says, for us to give you this cover, you meet these conditions, and the following will not be covered by that policy. And that's why those are what we call exclusions. Very important. So the company will tell you, we are covering you for this.
Yes.
But remember, we don't cover 1, 2, 3. And that is important, because even the price, everything will be determined by those conditions. They are the ones which will determine.
Yes.
If there are no exclusions, probably you'll find that the price is very high. Exclusions may be put in there to reduce the price. If you say, I can't afford to pay 20,000 for that policy, then the insurance companies can then say, then we will not cover this thing, so that the premium can come back down to 10. So that's why it is very important. It determines what you will get if the loss occurs. So that's why the exclusion is important.
And actually, you can tailor them according to how you can afford.
Exactly. You can actually agree. Many people will go and say, no, I don't want that exclusion. Include the exclusion. Then the premium, of course, will go up slightly because of that. So you can negotiate with the insurance company. Yes.
Oh, that's very important to know, and a very important aspect to point out. And also, there are things called excesses in insurance.
Yes.
Talk about them.
Again, another misunderstood terminology in insurance. This is a technical term. People think that the insurance companies are charging the insured or the claimant a fee. It is not a fee. Excess is just a portion of the claim which is paid by the insured. You pay your own claim, a portion of your claim that you pay yourself. It's like you are self-insure yourself for a certain portion. The reason for this is to avoid the unnecessary expenses. For example, you incur a claim of 50 shillings. If you have insurance, you think that I need to go to an insurance company to claim 50 shillings. But the cost of the insurance company paying you 50 shillings may cost the insurance company 2,000. So the insurance company says, we don't want to entertain these frivolous amounts. You take care of them yourself. If there is that claim, pay yourself. But if the claim exceeds that amount, if it's 10,000, we say excess is 10,000.
Yes.
So if a claim exceeds 10,000, that is where the insurance company will come in. Anything below 10,000, please, it doesn't make sense to come to the insurance company to claim. So it's just for what we call, to make sure there is order, and discipline.
Yes.
Again, you will be careful not to incur those small claims.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you know you are going to pay yourself. So it also creates discipline.
Yes.
Yes.
Remember, you can be part of this conversation. You can send us your question via the SMS number 0707 303 212. 0707 303 212. You can send us your contribution via WhatsApp to this number, and we shall sample that at the tail end of this program. Now, looking at the landscape, insurance landscape within the country, you know, Kenya is one of the most has one of the most developed insurance markets in East Africa. But when you look at it again by the international standards, the penetration remains low. And approximately, this is data from the CBK, stands at 2.3 to 2.5% of GDP. Why do you think the uptick or the penetration remains relatively low?
Okay. Let me start by just making a correction.
Yes.
The penetration at the moment is 2.63%. But I need to explain what penetration means. There is a difference between coverage and penetration. Coverage is the number of people who have insurance out of the total population.
Yes.
How many people have insurance? And currently it's something around 30% of the population. But penetration is the contribution to the national domestic product, GDP. And that can never be 100%.
Yeah.
So our aim is to move that penetration to GDP to around 5%. That's what we aim to.
Yes.
So it is said it's low in Kenya, but one of the best in Africa. But we have said we don't say it's where we need it to be, because the international average is about 7%. But we think if you reach at 5%, that
doing well.
we will be doing very well. Yeah. So it's just the contribution to GDP, and it's an international metrics used to measure insurance development.
Could it also be about matters of perception? You know, there's a perception that sometimes claims, the process of getting those claims is slow and fair regarding insurance.
To some extent, but I think the biggest problem is awareness. We think there is a big problem with awareness. A lot of people don't understand insurance. They don't understand the benefits of insurance, and that's why we are here.
Yes.
To make people understand that insurance is actually a necessity. People don't see it that way.
Yeah, they see it as an expense.
They see it as an expense. But as I said, it is what's if something happens, you'll be pulled back to poverty within no time. So it's actually a necessity which people should plan for, so that their economic status is not affected by risks which occur. So awareness is a big issue, and as an authority we are doing that. We are going around educating the public on the importance of insurance, so that they can take it as they do business. There are a lot of people who are not investing because of the risks involved. They fear the risks, so they can't invest. But if they brought in insurance, then they will be comfortable and invest, knowing that if anything goes wrong in the investment, then the insurance company will come in and sort out the issue. Yes.
And also, that brings about a very important aspect. You know, you look at financial literacy within the country. It's kind of remains a challenge because some consumers may struggle to understand complex financial products. What is the importance of financial literacy in making sure that there is an improvement in the insurance uptake?
It's very important. Financial literacy is a very important aspect. Actually, if you look at our budget, majority of our budgets, apart from the staff costs, the rest goes to literacy. And we've actually gone throughout the country.
Yes.
I don't think there is a count we have not gone to, just to teach people about insurance so that they can understand the importance. So literacy is a big issue in the financial sector. And the government is actually putting a lot of effort in that area to ensure that people are aware. Because that is the only way we are going to develop economically as a country. Yeah. Otherwise, there will be challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, motor insurance is a compulsory necessity in Kenya. But you look at how motorists get these insurances, it's the minimum legal cover. Beyond complying with the law, what should vehicle owners know or consider when deciding between third-party and comprehensive insurance?
Yes, again, it's the same thing. Assess your risk. If you have bought a vehicle and you just go for third party because you fear the police will arrest you, you don't have that. What will happen if this vehicle, for example, is stolen? What will happen? Nothing will be paid. If it's involved in an accident that is a write-off, you will be returned to poverty.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's an issue of assessing what are those risks that you are exposed to. What can make you go down financially? If you have that in mind, then you will not take that part only. Yeah.
And if anyone is taking their insurance for the first time, what are the things he or she should look out for? What would your advice be?
My advice would be, one, after you have assessed your needs, go to a broker or an insurance company for you to get an understanding of what products are available in the market. That broker or insurance company or agent that you go to, ensure they are authorized to do what they are doing. And you can do that by looking at their license issued by the IRA. They will have a license. In fact, they are all required to display. If you go to their office, you will find the license displayed there. Make sure the license is there. That is what means that they are authorized to do what they are doing. Then you can talk to them and see what they can offer. Yeah.
Have you come as an authority? Have you come across complaints from people about unscrupulous insurance brokers?
Yes, a lot.
How have you handled them?
Even insurance companies, there are people out there, and so there are some offices you go and you find somebody saying that I'm an insurance company, offering, I don't know, guarantees, insurance guarantees, and things like those. So that's why I'm saying, look at the license. Before you deal with anybody, make sure they are licensed. If they are not licensed, actually, you can report to us. We have a section which deals with that. Enforcement section deals with those people who are doing what they are not supposed to do. Yes.
All right, we are talking about choosing the right insurance policy with Kalai Muse from the Insurance Regulatory Authority. We are going to continue this conversation once we come back from this short break. Stay with us.
And then the last game before, well, it's Temwa. Temwa picks it up. There's the touch. Oh, it's the first goal scored by Malawi. And a brilliant goal indeed. The setup, the assist by Temwa was nothing short of brilliant. Well, it doesn't get better than that. Well, that was the ball that came across. Temwa, she sees who she's got there. That's the pass, that's the finish. And she had enough time to get a shot in. Look at the control and the pass from Chawinga Temwa. But that finish was pure quality as well. Look at that. And the 20-year-old Montpellier winger driving it in to make it 1-0.
Pata makao na boma yangu. Get ready for a captivating continental football extravaganza. KBC Channel 1 brings you exclusive coverage of the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON. From Sunday the 26th of July to Sunday the 16th of August 2026, Morocco is the battleground as Nigeria defend their title against 15 other nations fighting to lift the prestigious trophy. Who will be crowned Queens of African Football? Courtesy of the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports. Watch all the action unraveling on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Huh? Is it true? She's really a girl?
No wonder you didn't answer the phone. It turns out you were idling around.
Wow, that is a great move.
Na vitimbi same time ni ya kuwachekesha wananchi.
Kweli?
Wananchi wanacheka na huku tunawaelimisha, wanaelewa. Mwogaka kwani wewe but kwa vile sisi ni vio za jamii, ukaage ukijua vitimbi ni nini?
Nikiona mocha imevunjika.
Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. We continue with the conversation regarding matters of choosing the right insurance policy. Mr. Kalai, when you look at matters of insurance and even when it comes to rebuilding consumer confidence and trust, because insurance is built on trust, and as we have said, sometimes some Kenyans may still associate it with delayed or disputed claims. From the complaints and oversight work undertaken by the authority, what can you say are the most common grievances that you have come across? And are there reforms that have been introduced to improve claims settlement and, by extension, rebuild this confidence that you're talking about?
Okay, thank you, Mike. I think that one of the main issues is lack of understanding, like I said. Mm-hmm. You buy a policy and you actually don't know what is covered. Mm-hmm. So if there is a loss, you are then told, sorry, that was an exclusion.
Yes.
Then you, of course, you say, but I paid money all these years. You never told me. Mm-hmm. But you realize it is there in the policy document.
Yeah.
Probably you never read or you did not understand. Mm-hmm. And that's why I said it's very important to read that document, so that you understand exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. We get a lot of those complaints. And normally what happens, if somebody is aggrieved, they come to us. Mm-hmm. Because we are able to look at all those documents and talk now to both sides. If you are the one who had not read, we will explain to you and tell you actually this is the position. Yeah. But we've also done some exercise to try and improve these policy documents because insurance companies were blamed of being very legalistic. Yes. Documents which are not easily read. The exclusions are in a very small font, so you are not able to read. We standardized all that to remove all those issues so that people can easily understand their policy documents. So it's now upon the person who takes insurance to read. Yes. But if there are any grievances, if you are not sure of anything, you can come to IRA. We'll actually guide you on what to do. Yes.
Some feedback from the viewers. And Mike and Kalai, the show is very educative and eye-opening in terms of risk we are exposed to. He has a question. This is Chris Kalewa. He's asking, how do we have timelines for insurers to pay claims? How do we have timelines for insurers to pay claim?
Thank you. Actually, the timelines for payment of claims are stated in the law.
Yes.
The law says once a claim is lodged and all the information is provided,
yes,
the insurance company has a maximum of 90 days to pay that claim.
Yes.
Maximum.
Maximum of 90 days.
Of 90 days. Whatever claim, maximum of 90 days. If they think they can't pay in 90 days,
yes,
then they are supposed to come to the Commission of Insurance, who can give them an extra 30 days or something. But the timelines are stated in the law. But if you go to most of the companies, their timelines are actually shorter. Many of them will say we should be able to pay in 14 days, and they do. They pay in 14 days. So the companies are left now to come up with their own standard operating procedures. Or now they can handle the claims which come to them. Because they don't have to wait for 90 days. Yes. 90 days is just the maximum. Yes.
Another person is saying here, I paid for last expense cover for, okay, he's giving a name here, Bibiana Otiendo Okech through KCB intermediary to APA insurance company. The lady died in June this year, 9 days past the waiting period, provided required documents for claim payment, then came and gave actual documents that we sent. I even did statement saying they can pay the son, but initially they rejected my claim before they visited us. After the visit, they went mute. Nothing from their end, no reasons for declining the claim given. What can I do?
Please come to IRA. Come to IRA. If you gave everything at that, there is a requirement on how to handle clients.
Yes.
If there is a claim, you are supposed to tell the claimant, the insurance company now tells the claimant, this is all we need. These are all the documents we need. So that now the claimant submits all those documents so that we can start counting the 90 days. If there is no response from the insurance company, even after submitting all the documents, come to IRA.
You'll be sorted.
We'll be sorted.
Another one. Hello, KBC. Thank you. We are learning. I'm Pamela. As an innovator, I'm interested in how technology is shaping the future of insurance. What innovative digital solutions are being introduced to attract young people and make insurance more accessible and appealing to them? Yes.
A very interesting point. You know, insurance industry has been accused of lagging behind in adoption of innovation. But things have changed now.
Yes.
A lot of these companies have systems which are end-to-end.
Yes.
Right from the marketing up to the time of a claim, where probably you don't need any paper involved in the process.
Yes.
Everything is digitized.
Yes.
We have a lot of what we call innovation hubs involving insurance companies.
Yes.
We have Bima labs for people to test their innovations. A lot of companies have even adopted AI, especially in underwriting and claims payment.
Yes.
So the industry is catching up.
The industry is catching up. Of course, there's a lot to talk about, but I will give you a chance to give your closing remarks.
Okay.
Yes.
So my closing remark is one. Kenyans, we are all exposed to risks. Let us think of insurance as one of our methods of managing the risks we are exposed to, so that we can assist the government in ensuring there's economic development. Let's not just sit down because of fear of risk. We don't do anything. We don't invest. We need to assist the government in economic development by taking risk. And the only way you can take risk is by ensuring that insurance is there to support you in taking that risk.
A very important point to end. And thank you so much, Mr. Kalai Muse. Mr. Kalai Muse is the Director of Supervision at Insurance Regulatory Authority. This is where this conversation ends. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Mike Migwe. Now, up next is Vivian Degwa with the Family Check. Stay with us.
Thank you for staying with us. And now we get to talk matters family. And I had already posed this question to you earlier on while we were doing the intro to the show. And the question we are asking you today is, can trust be rebuilt after betrayal? That is the question that we are posing to you. And remember, you can be part of this conversation by sending us a WhatsApp message with your comments on the same. So what would be your answer? Do you think trust can be rebuilt after betrayal, or after betrayal, that's just it? There's no way that it can be rebuilt. That is what we are asking you, and I will be glad to read through the comments that you have on this. We have quite a big panel to talk to us about it, to discuss this conversation. And, you know, just as they are all getting ready, maybe I can begin with Judith, because we have Judith Pelluccini. Judith Pelluccini is a therapist, she's a leadership coach and an author as well. If I may just begin with her as the rest gets ready. Judith, what would be your answer on this? Can trust be rebuilt after betrayal?
Yeah, I think it can, but with a lot of work. So depending with what's been done, and depending with the person, if you know, sometimes when something happens, we're not willing to grow, to develop, to change. So I think if both parties are willing to grow, develop, change, i.e. go to therapy even, it doesn't matter if it's friends or family, I think there is a chance of kind of rebuilding the trust. But with that also, you will need to have boundaries after you kind of agree to move on. You have to set some boundaries in terms of the expectation, going forward, so that everybody knows, for example, if it happens again, then there is boundaries around, we're not going to be, you know, spending time together, or that's going to be the end of whatever relationship we have, or some sort of boundary after we agree to kind of move on. So I would say yes, but there's a lot of work to be done, and also kind of set an agreement of how you move forward.
So it can be rebuilt, but it really takes a lot of work. And I believe intentionality as well.
Yes, and time, not to kind of speed up things and say, all right, you know, we've been friends or we've been in relationships for 20 years. Something happens, you can't then use the 20 years to say, well, we've been together for 20 years, so it should be quickly to, you know, we can repair quickly or we can move on quicker. You have to allow the time for, you know, healing, repairing. That trust needs space and time. So yeah, no rushing to kind of get to the end.
Yeah. All right, so I want to introduce my fellow guests for this as well. And I will begin with Sakwa. We have Sakwa Benedict Peter, and Sakwa is a clinician, a student psychologist, and a businessman as well. Welcome to the program. It's a pleasure to have you here. And then I will also introduce Kevin Morioki Wero. Kevin is a student from Laikipia University taking BA Comms and Media Studies. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
And then we also have Masi Ndanu, who's also a student. She's a student from Karatina University taking BA in Comms and PR. Welcome to the show. And then last but not least, we have Bilson Rubia. Bilson Rubia is a student, JKUAT, taking BA Corporate Communication and Management. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, we've already gotten to hear from Judith. I would want to hear from you, Sakwa. Do you think trust can be rebuilt after betrayal?
Yes. I say so because, for one, trust to me is a certainty. As far as your relationship is concerned, it is that which cements the relationship, or the glue that makes the relationship to keep going. And it is that assurance that makes you keep putting more effort into that relationship so that you sustain it. And so if it is broken, then as Judy mentioned, it requires effort for it to be rebuilt. And so that's the same way that you will take long, you put together the materials to ensure that, for example, if you're putting up, you want to build something, you put together materials to ensure that that is able to be put together to be built. Then the same way, if it's broken, it will take time for it to be, it's basically a process for it to be able to rebuild.
All right.
Yeah.
I would like to hear from the younger people, let me call them that, or do we just call them the Gen Zs? What would be your take? Because maybe your thinking is different. Do you feel like it's possible for you to trust someone after they've betrayed you? Let me start with the lady.
At some point, yes. At some point, no. Based on how bad the betrayal was, or, you know, because trust is not just something that you build in a short period of time. You trust this person. It is something, it's the confidence that you've placed in someone because of their consistent actions, or rather that they are honest enough. So some betrayals, you can't rebuild the trust. But if your relationship with that person is not that deep, or rather the betrayal is not that much, you can rebuild. So that's my opinion.
Okay, so for you it depends with the kind of betrayal that it is. Bilson, I want to hear from all of you first, and then we continue with it. Bilson, what's your take on the same?
Okay, my take is that trust can be rebuilt after betrayal. But we have to understand that Rome wasn't built on the same day. Same with trust. For me, I cannot trust someone. I see someone today, we interact and I trust the person. It needs to take time. The same time that trust was built on is the same time that somebody, after betrayal, will need it to rebuild it. But we also have to understand that when someone is beaten, is twice shy. So you'll have to give it time. Today I trust you, betray me, I forgive you. We begin that rebuilding process. And also it depends with the rebuilding, the factors of the betrayal or the nature of the betrayal. For me, it can be rebuilt, and it can be very much rebuilt.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Kevin?
Well, I guess my take on this one would be that after betrayal, depending on the nature of the betrayal, yes, you could work on rebuilding the trust, but I feel like at the end of the day, some things can never really go back to the way they were before, because this is somebody you really counted on, somebody you placed your trust in. And the moment they break your trust, the moment they betray you in whichever way, it makes you really wonder or really question their genuineness from the beginning. So even if you decide to trust them again, you will tend to be wary of placing the same amount of trust you had before.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So does betrayal mean the same to everyone, or do we all experience it differently? Would you say it's the same for everyone, or does it vary?
I think it might vary depending on life experience. It might depend on your perspective in life, because some people take things more seriously than others. Some betrayals, maybe I might think, oh, that's not too bad, when somebody else might be like, I'm never going to talk to that person again. So I think it depends with everybody's perspectives, life experiences, and also how a person is in general. So some people take life very light. And so when people, betray them, they go, all right, like for me, if someone betrays me, I always assume, I'm like, it's that person's issues. So I'm not going to make it about me or anything that I've done. I'm like, all right, it's that person. I can go on with my life and not be so heavy in that, that person's betrayed me and now I just think, well, it's got nothing to do with me when they betray me. Everything to do with that person. So I remove myself and not personalize it, and then allow myself to still have a relatively easy life when it comes to that person. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to spend time with them, or I can, they can be somewhere else, not near me, but I'm not going to make it about myself. So I think, there's a couple of variables in terms of what betrayal can be and how people interpret and take it.
All right, and that also brings the question of forgiving and forgetting. Because, as you said, you can just have them, love them from afar.
Like
100%. You've done whatever you've done to me, That's your issue, it's on you, but now I'll just need to love you from afar. So speaking about forgiving and forgetting, where do we draw the line, or where do I get to decide that, okay, I'm forgiving you and you're gonna stay here and we try and rebuild this, and I'm forgiving you but I don't want you anywhere near me?
First and foremost, I again want to agree with Judy that trust and forgiveness is all about your personality,
yes,
your background. Assuming you have gone through quite a number of traumas in your early years or something like that, then of course it will affect how you tend to trust people and walk along in life with them. Because trust is the lens that you use to view other people and how they treat you and how the world is. Either it is hostile to you or it is receptive. So to such an extent that us being Christians, we are called to forgive, yes. But forgiveness does not necessarily mean that you forgive and forget, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
for me, because at the end of the day, we all have our minds that we'll keep recalling some of these situations that we've gone through.
Yeah.
And also depending with what betrayal was all about. What happened, what actually happened, that's the question.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, as much as we are Christians and we are called to forgive, we are called to forgive because it is good for you. It's good for your own health. In that aspect of forgiving, you let go because it's more of like a baggage. Sometimes I'll forgive you not because you warrant that forgiveness or you've asked for that forgiveness, but because at the end of the day it's a baggage that I don't want to continue carrying.
Yeah.
So I let it go so that I can be able to move on and make life be what it is supposed to be for me. And so it is not about you anymore, it's about me. It's about me.
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll read a comment that has just come in. Someone is saying, after betrayal, sometimes rebuilding trust is possible, but the healthiest choice, according to this person, is to move on. Trust is like glass. It takes only a moment to shatter, but a lifetime may not be enough to put it back together the way it once was. I hear you on that. Remember, you can also be able to send in your comments on the same. The number is 0707-303-212. It's right there on your screens. I'll be reading the messages as they come in. What's the biggest form of betrayal? Let me begin with you, Bilson. For you, I mean, it's personal for all of us. So what's the biggest form of betrayal for you? When would you say that someone has betrayed you to a point where there's no rebuilding?
Okay, that's a tricky question.
I know. Yeah.
That's a tricky question. But as you have said that there's a line that someone needs not to cross, so that I can forgive and forget.
Yeah.
My biggest form, like, if you do me wrong, there's no going back to the relationship that we once had.
So are you speaking from a romantic relationship point of view?
Romantic is not my language anymore.
You've already been betrayed
enough. That's a hard statement, It's not his language anymore.
Yeah. So it means you've already been betrayed enough when it comes to that line. So you're speaking from a friendship perspective.
Let me just handle the friendship perspective.
Okay.
Romantic is another door that I don't want to touch on or even open.
Okay.
Okay. On a friendship perspective, I will put it in such a way that a friend in need or something of sort. For me, when I'm in trouble and then you come to my rescue, it's a good thing. That is a trust that you are building. But immediately I'm on that sick bed and then you don't visit me, and then immediately I'm discharged from the hospital, you start ringing me like, I need that can never happen. Yeah.
Okay. Your biggest form of betrayal?
For me, I'm speaking from a friendship point of view.
Okay. You want a mekata romantic point of view. All right. Go ahead.
As someone who has grown up, I haven't had so close friends that much. So the moment I have you as my friend, so close to me, I get the chance to maybe open up to you, tell you my secrets, maybe challenges that I'm going through. And if maybe you go tell someone else, because it's only you that I trusted and opened up to you. If you go tell maybe someone else, that will be so bad. That's my biggest form of betrayal.
Well, Kevin, you know, when it comes to betrayal, the thing about it is that many a times, or more often than not, it comes from the people we trust the most. It comes from the people we love the most. Would you say for you it's the same? Would you feel more betrayed by someone you trust and someone you love compared to someone who, you know, is not really dear to your heart?
Absolutely. Actually, my take on this would be, my biggest form of betrayal would be if a family member betrayed me. That is what would hurt the most, because, you know, most friendships, most relationships outside of family usually tend to have a transactional aspect to them. You trust this person to do this for you because you've done this for them. It's basically a give and take situation. But when it comes to family, trust is supposed to be unconditional. There's somebody you should be able to trust in, regardless of whether you can be able to give anything back in return. And the moment you bear yourself, the moment you are that vulnerable to a member in your family, and then they end up breaking your trust, they probably use your weaknesses against you, something that you only trusted them with. I think, in my opinion, that is what would hurt the most, because these are people you really hold close to you. These are people you have always believed you could count on, even when the rest of the world was burning. These are people you believe you can run towards. So if a member of my family were to betray me, I think that is what I would consider
your biggest form of betrayal.
Biggest form of betrayal, yes.
Okay, different perspectives right here. Let me also introduce Rosemary Kiguru, who has also just joined us. She is also a student at the Multimedia University taking journalism. Welcome to the show. Let me begin by just asking you to give us your view on whether trust can be rebuilt after betrayal.
Thank you so much. I'm a firm believer of second chances. I believe trust can be rebuilt with time, responsibility. It takes both parties to accept that the betrayer has to accept, I have wronged this person, and this person has to open their doors back for this person to regenerate their trust for them. So I'm a firm believer, even though after betrayal there's a certain level of trust that cannot be reattained, it's still something that can be worked on.
All right. So as she puts it, there's a part that can never be retained back, you know. So can trust 100% be rebuilt? You know, I can be open to working on rebuilding trust after betrayal, but can we get to that 100% point? Is it possible?
I won't say it is possible, because at any one given time there's a percentage that will remain out. Reason being that, as we said from the word go, this is about the surety that you had on this person. It is about the confidence that you had in this person. It is about the long walk and the commitment that you put in this relationship. So at the end of the day, once this has been shattered, then you will always remain hypervigilant. You want to always keep looking behind and see, is there anything else that this person is not telling me? And that is the worst part of it. Because if that continues for long, then trust me, this relationship cannot be rebuilt anymore. And that is why, as he says, sometimes if it's not a close family member, you may feel like you can even let go and move on. But if it's a family member, this is blood. You need to find a way out of working around it so that possibly you love them from a distance and continue doing that which you need to do so that your life remains moving on smoothly.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. I want to read a comment that has just come in. Someone is saying, hi, Vivian. It's Pastor David Makori. Trust can be rebuilt if the root cause for mistrust is correctly diagnosed, owned up, owned up, one shows remorse, addressed, and the willingness to rebuild the fence around trust. And two, for strong Christian believers, if the mistrust was sin, then it should be addressed as sin, and the victim should surrender and go to God for restoration. Another perspective right there. Would you agree on the same?
I just want to say, I think as human beings, there is a tendency of, we need to kind of open our mindsets around people are going to let us down, people are going to disappoint us, people might even betray us. So when it happens, it's not such a shock to the system.
So what you're saying is expect the worst.
But just expect humans to be humans, because humans, we're not one-dimensional, right? We're kind of multi-dimensional. We love, we have laughter, we want to play. On the other side, we can also be horrible, mean, we can, betray people. So as a human being, there's many aspects to us. But what we tend to do as people, we want to just focus on this person's a nice person, or they care about me, they love me, they do all these things. But I think in order to have a holistic relationship with anyone, I know we're talking about family, in particular, family betraying you, I think it's really important to understand that your family, be it your sister, brother, daughter, whatever, they have a dispensation of possibly betraying you because they're a person. So I think I try not to personally to put so much weight on, yes, I expect my family to never betray me, but if they do, or if they did, I'm not going to go into a massive shock. I'm like, okay, they're humans, there's a chance that they could do that, they've done that, so how can we move on? So I think for me, it's even less around, is it a sin, is it not a sin? It's just a human trait. And people make mistakes, and like you said, second chances. But there's some people who betray you over and over and over, and they're still your family. So I think for me, it's just also understanding the personality, because you can have someone who has a personality of letting you down, or they might even have addictions, and that's what's making them betray the family. So I think there's also an empathy piece where you have to see, right, this person is my family member, but they have an addiction. That's what's making them betray us. So do we focus on the betrayal, or do we focus on this person actually needs help, love and compassion that we need to give, rather than isolate and go, oh my God, we're not going to relate to that person. So I think there's so many dynamics to all of it, rather than, it's not just this and that, it's like there's so many things.
Right. And speaking from a psychological point of view, how would you say betrayal affects, a person's ability to even trust anyone else in the future? Because sometimes, as he said, once bitten, twice shy, and sometimes you tend to kind of bleed on other people who did not take part in the betrayal. So from a psychological point of view, how does that come about?
I think that for me, that's where it's important to seek counseling, to kind of help yourself move forward, because what you don't want to do, like you said earlier, is have that mentality or thinking that, I'm going to have to now look for other things that they might be hiding. Because once you agree, someone betrays you and you're like, all right, let's rebuild the trust, you have to work on yourself and your mind so that it's not starting to show you things that don't exist. Because sometimes when we get hypervigilant, we can start to see things that confirmation bias. You're trying to look for something that doesn't exist, but because you think someone's doing something, you're going to find it, and it might not be what you're looking for. So I think from a psychological perspective, we have to really go and work on, is it you that's not trusting because I'm going to go back a little bit. Trust is about your ability, your own ability to let go. So someone does something, do you have the ability to let that thing go and move on? So when you're not doing that, it means you're hanging on to the past. So when you're hanging on to the past, you can't go forward. And therapy will help you put things in the past and help you go forward, and help you regain your trust in terms of, can I trust myself? If this happens again, I'm going to be okay. Because I think that's what we're all looking for. We all want to be okay after something terrible happens. We're like, am I going to be okay? Can I move forward? But that's us problem. It's a you problem, not the person that's betrayed you. You have to accept that they've done this thing. Now, what are you going to do? And then it becomes about you, your mindset, how you're thinking. You know, any ghosts that you're thinking are going to come and get you again, they might do it again. All these, that's your internal conversation. And therapy helps you manage the internal conversation, that you're not escalating the thing. You're actually de-escalating and regulating your nervous system so that you're now not having a mental issue on top of that, that you're getting depressed, you're starting to get anxious. If the person does one thing, you're so anxious that they're doing something else. I think that's what, from a therapeutic perspective, that's what we need to be doing, managing our inner thoughts, inner conversation, regulating our nervous system so that we're not destroying ourselves when someone else has done something terrible to us.
Okay. You wanted to add on to it?
Yes, can I just build on that slightly by just mentioning some of the steps possibly that one can take after betrayal to start working on rebuilding that trust.
Okay.
And the first step for me would be that you look at yourself first, you take care of yourself first, in terms of what you just mentioned, because it's all about your mind and how you have perceived this betrayal that has happened to you and how it happened. You're asking yourselves, was it out of carelessness that this person did what he did? Was it out of addictions that he did what he did? Is it just his personality that he's been able to continue doing this and all that? So you ask yourself a lot of questions. So the first thing that you want to do is to take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself, as a certain author called L.R. Nost tells us, is taking care of myself doesn't necessarily mean that, that I'm mean, but it means that I'm looking at me too, yeah, in all this equation. So you take care of yourself first, and taking care of yourself could be as much as possibly looking at things that you can do to deflate, to keep going, to take care of your mind so that your mind is able to evade all this that's going on. Then the second step possibly would be you can look for materials that you can read and learn, yeah, that can be able to give you another perspective, another angle, yeah. Another aspect that you can be able to take into consideration is look at other people, look at other friends. Consider bringing them into your circle. Ensure that you're able to engage them. By engaging them, you're able to understand that this particular person who betrayed is an exception. Not all people are looking at you in a negative perspective. Not all other people are looking at you in a way that they want to mistreat you or treat you badly. So if you're able to do all those kind of line of thinking, then you'll be working towards healing. And that's important because, you know, in our country today, we hear people talking about you wash yourself and go back to the market. It's not about washing yourself and going back to the market. Yeah, it's all about healing first before you can be able to open your heart to engage again. Because in absence of that, if you're going to that market, you're going to engage other people, and you're still hurting, you're basically carrying that hurt to them too. And people who have been hurt others badly. So we wouldn't wish to engage in that perspective. So first and foremost, create time for yourself, heal, and then once you have healed, you can be able to move on and open the heart to move to the next level.
Yeah. Rosemary, would you say that sometimes we just have maybe unrealistic expectations, and that way we are prone to betrayal?
Yeah, sometimes I think people have a lot of trust in people who they shouldn't be having a lot of trust in. Like, you might find you have a friend, and this friend is not like a long-term friend, but you choose to just trust them out of nothing, like they have not given you any reason to trust them, and you choose to trust them. So it causes a dilemma in you, like you don't know if you should trust this person or not. Yeah.
All right, I want to read some of the messages that have come in. Someone is saying, such a great show, thank you very much. My take on trust and betrayal, I feel it can be rebuilt, but it takes genuine remorse, consistent honesty, patience, and time. The person who broke the trust must accept that forgiveness may come before trust does. And the one who was hurt has every right to heal at their own pace. That is Gakima John. Thank you so much. Very well put. Someone else is saying, my greatest betrayal is not the lie itself, but the realization that every truth I believed is suddenly in question. I begin to wonder which memories were genuine, which words were sincere, and the person I believed in, if they ever truly existed. Wow. I'll read one more. Hello, I'm Emmanuel from Kericho. Yes, trust can be rebuilt after betrayal, but it takes time, consistent actions, and willingness from both people. Good remarks right there. Good comments right there. And you know, there's something that someone has said here. I believe that was Gakima John, who talked about, you know, allowing someone to heal at their own pace. So would you say there is a particular time that it takes for one to maybe rebuild their trust? Is there a particular time frame, Kevin?
I don't think so. Actually, in my opinion, anything that involves human emotions, be it heart, grief, any form of affliction on any person, I don't think we should be able to place a particular timeline on that. You should have gotten over that by now. You should have forgotten that by now. I really don't think that's how it works. If somebody is still reeling from the shock of somebody betraying them, I think we should be allowed the time and space to deal with that in their own way. Yes, we do know some people take longer than others. Actually, there are some people who tend to wallow in their misery longer. There are people who tend to punish themselves, because then again, you know, when betrayal is involved, some people tend to blame themselves. You start to question yourself, what did I do wrong? Did I kind of deserve this? So yeah, some people tend to take longer in their misery than others, but I really don't think we should be able to govern or dictate how much time somebody should take to get over betrayal. Let them deal with it in their own way. Give them that space and time. If you feel like they're taking too long, if you feel like they're asking for too much space and you can be able to wait around for them, that's good. That's okay with you, but don't try and rush them into catching up with you.
All right.
Yes.
Do you believe forgiveness can exist without trust, or rather, can forgiveness exist without trust being restored?
I think yes, because according to what he had said, he said, according to Christians, you know, we are told to forgive so that our God in heaven can forgive us. So just because you don't want, you have that feeling that when you go to pray, then you remember that verse, that if you don't forgive whoever has wronged you, your Father in heaven won't forgive you. So, but you don't forgive because God in heaven, you know, according to that verse, but you just want to let it go. You want to let the heart go, that feeling to just go. But rebuilding the trust, I don't think it can be rebuilt to 100% as it was from the beginning, because from the start you gave it 100% trust, because this person, you placed confidence in this person. The person showed you honesty, loyalty, and their consistency in their actions. But once they broke the trust, because trust is like a bridge, once they broke the trust, you know, rebuilding the trust again, it wouldn't be something, because you'll be like, how much more will they, if I give them a second chance, how much more will they hurt? They still hurt me more, and you won't be like,
that's just constant. If they had wronged you, just be sure that maybe they'll do it again. Bilson, you know, for someone who has betrayed another, maybe what actions or what can they do that can show that they sincerely are sorry and are looking to maybe rebuild whatever you had together? Is there a particular way, or is there a way that you can be able to tell, okay, this person is actually truly remorseful, or you can't really tell?
Okay. So there is something called love, and then love languages. How somebody wants to be loved. That is the same way that I will take for trust. For you to regain that trust. If it's a romantic relationship, then you know, when I take my girl to out, and then I ask for forgiveness, there's a certain procedure, or there's a certain way. If she loves gifts, if she wants like just to spend time, that is the forgiveness or trust that it needs to be regained. For friends, you know, it depends again with the relationship. For, let's say, like for me and Kevin, we are bros.
Yeah.
So us regaining that trust will be very fast because we relate to some things of friendship. But again, when we go to the relationship of I and also, or Rose and I, then that's a different way because I don't know if it's true, but they say that girls do take a lot of time for if they have been done something for them to forgive. And for, as I said, I and Kevin is easy to forgive. Okay. But for maybe...
I don't know how true that is. I don't know if that is psychologically proven. But anyway.
And then also, it's very hard. I've seen friendship, relationship of girls when they betray each other is another world war at its own. They take a lot of time everything scatters. I think is that perspective of, as she said, that for her, the close friends she has are very little, even the circle of friends that she has. So when even Rose comes to interact with her, it will take time for her to trust. Okay. For me and Kevin, we may just meet and then a certain topic of sport occurs and then we debate on it. That is even we forget to ask the name. That is the trust. Even when next he calls me and then he says that, come on, there's a game that is on Saturday, will you come? That is that trust has already been. Even again when he doesn't show up for that game, the next time he calls, I will show up.
Interesting. Yeah. And I mean, I have to ask that question. Is it a gender thing really? Like, is there proper, distinction when it comes to the genders and trust and forgiveness? Is it really a gender thing?
I don't think so. I think it's just a perception. And I also think, I think women get given a bad name. Patriarchy obviously is going to give us a corner to go and sit. But I think it's just a personality type because, women are humans, they're people. And if anything, I think women are more forgiving because of the nature of nurturing and that's embedded in us. So I think men are more avoidant in terms of if something happens, they want to just kind of like move on quickly. They don't want to go into the emotion of it or why it happened. They want to pretend that they're strong and they don't have to talk about things. That's kind of like a woman thing. So I think it's a perception and a bias and patriarchy. I'm going to stop saying that word now. But I think that's just giving...
Blame it on patriarchy.
Yeah, we're just going to blame it on patriarchy and trying to box women up. But I think women are just as willing to move forward and move quickly. But we maybe want to unpack it and get to the root of it so it doesn't repeat itself. Okay. Maybe that's where maybe men might think we want to kind of talk about it or whatever. But I think for me personally, if something happens, I want to talk about it. If the person's not ready, I want to give them time. When you're ready, you come, we talk about it, and we find out how we're going to move on. Then we move on. If you don't want to talk about it, I'm going to assume that you don't care enough to invest the time in trying to move it forward. So I'm going to also remove myself. But I just want to say something around trust. I think trust is not about the other person. It's mainly about yourself and your ability to trust yourself, because I think we put a lot of weight on others. We're like, oh, if that person does this or does the other thing. But actually, it's your willingness to, can you trust yourself to move forward? If it doesn't work out, can you trust yourself to actually want to fix it? Are you going to trust yourself and not look for holes when you're moving forward? So it's really about you than the other person. Okay. If you make it about the other person, then you're giving too much power away, and you're always going to have that psychological reaction of always looking for something versus just trusting yourself. It's like, right, I'll forgive that person, we're going to move on, and I'm not going to look for anything. If they do it again, then we're going to just deal with it when it happens again.
All right. Sakwa, it seems like you had something to add on to the correlation.
The gender aspect.
Yeah, the gender aspect, yeah.
I think for men, we are easy to let some stuff go. That is what I can actually relate to what he's trying to put across.
Yeah.
And to such an extent that we are not so much deeply emotional. So some things happen and we look at the perspective in how they happened. and then possibly we let go. And if we don't need to hang on, sometimes even if they're friends, we let go those friends so that we're able to move on. But for ladies, being emotional, we all know that, and we understand that. It basically means that when they start trusting you, they put a lot of that confidence in you, that they are always on the lookout of that consistency on how you are treating them and how you are carrying along in the relationship. So if that is broken, there's a lot of trauma they go through. And so for that trauma, healing will take time, as we say. So for ladies, healing might be slightly longer as compared to...
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
I think it depends with the person.
The personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, personality too.
Some
That's
people
another thing.
are, they're quick to let go. Others, especially if you've worked on yourself.
Yes.
If a woman's worked on herself, she knows her worth. She's, not trapped in patriarchy. She's not worried about all these assumptions of women take longer, women do this. They just deal with the issue straight away, as a man would, or not in most cases. And I think also men are programmed to be strong and not to, so they try to move
I think that's a conversation on its own. We need to find time for that on its own.
That is, apart from being a personality, it's also on your background.
Yes.
Where you've come from.
That's true.
If you went through some trauma before, some betrayal before, as you're growing up and all that kind of thing, of course, or even in your early adulthood, you've been able to go through a number of trauma or betrayals, then it basically means it will keep lingering in your mind all the time. You will be always remain hypervigilant to see what's happening next.
I agree with you. I want to read the comments that are coming in because the response is, we have a lot of responses coming in. So I'll begin with Shazi. She says, hi, I'm Shazi, enjoying the show from Nyahururu town. My point of view is trust can be built in a romantic relationship if the betrayal is a one-time thing, not a pattern. And also trust can be built when the person is taking full accountability without being defensive. That is Shazi. Yes, trust on matters of relationship, you can rebuild it back. But the biggest betrayal that I cannot forgive is when one gets your source of income shut down. All right, when you mess with her money, Another one here is saying, I'm Pamela. Thank you. I like the conversation. Today we hear both fear men and fear women. But fear men seems to be more common, especially among Gen Zs. The Gen Zs will let us know. From a psychological perspective, why has this narrative become so widespread? Is it based on reality or on emotional responses to repeated disappointment? Help us understand why trust is declining and how young people can rebuild trust without generalizing an entire gender. And I want to pose this question to the younger people, the Gen Zs in the house. Help us understand this, just as she puts it, is what was the question? The fear men, fear women thing. Do you feel like it's more rampant now? And does it have? Can we have some? Is there something to back it, or is it just something we are saying now?
I definitely think it's more rampant now, especially fear men. Yeah, like I did my research yesterday. Yeah. The level of infidelity in marriages, there's 20% of men who are
unfaithful.
Yeah, who are unfaithful.
And 13% of women. So you see there's a margin there, 20% and 13%. So men tend to, like women, we tend to be more emotional people. That's why when a betrayal comes through, we are more like crashing out and stuff. We are dramatic, but men, when it comes to men, they tend to just leave it aside. They are not more emotional. They're not leaning onto the emotional side. They don't want to be seen as weak or something. That's why I think fear men is like more rampant right now.
As a man, how will you defend yourself from that?
Well, fear women. I mean, we've kind of established that we are now fearing the opposite gender.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that the women are all chanting fear men, the men are all saying fear women.
Yeah.
But every Saturday they're in church, marrying each other. So, I mean, make it make sense. Everybody is trying to to make out the other gender as the most promiscuous, most untrustworthy, but we still can't completely, dissociate ourselves from the same. I
Yeah.
mean, 90% of the people saying fear men have boyfriends. 90% of these guys were saying fear women. Actually, you should take 25 hours in a day to fear women, have girlfriends, and probably even side chicks. So
Yeah.
I guess I don't think I would say there's any psychological backing to the whole narrative. I guess it's just something that was started at some point,
Yeah.
and everybody just picked up on it. Somebody might have been done wrong by a woman or by a man at some point in life, and then they were like, no, I'm never doing that again. I fear men.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody else picked it up from there, and it just became a whole conversation. But if we really were to say there's any actual, confirmation that this is a thing that's really happening, then everybody's fearing everybody else. How are we still getting along then, So yeah, I think we should all work towards being able to trust each other, being able to be comfortable and confident around each other, than trying to make it a whole conversation between who is fearing who and who is more scary and who is more prone to, breaking trust or causing betrayal. Yeah.
All right. So now let me read a couple more comments. Someone is saying, for a person, okay. Forgiveness is a gift you give to your own peace. Trust is a privilege that must be earned again. So yes, it's entirely possible to forgive someone and still decide not to trust them again. Forgiveness can happen in your heart, while trust depends on whether the other person's actions demonstrate that they are trustworthy over time. Someone else is saying, if trust was at 100, then after betrayal it will be at 50, because people believe don't let a snake bite you twice. Okay, trust can be rebuilt but not fully. One more here. For a person having been betrayed, for a person having been betrayed another, what action can be taken? For someone who has already betrayed another, what action can be taken? I believe that's what you're saying. Give yourself time. Don't feel pressure to forgive or trust immediately. Also, set clear boundaries about what you need to feel safe moving forward. There was one more here. As we continue, someone is saying, hi, good morning, Kenya. I'm Malim here. I have had the guest only advising on family about trust. What about to the person you love, like your girlfriend or your boyfriend? Maybe who you are planning to start a family with. If you can just answer, Malim, when it comes to boyfriend and girlfriend who are looking to actually get into marriage and trust is broken, how do you rebuild that?
I think from that perspective, if you're not married yet, you have to look at the person's character, like holistically, and decide if that's the type of person you want to move forward with. Because I think for me, if we're not married and you're already betraying me, I'm going to start thinking, are you the type of person that I want actually to marry? So think about that question before you move forward. I think the next thing is to see if the person also is working on themselves. Have they shown a history of working on themselves? Are they willing to work on themselves? Because if the person is sitting there, maybe saying, oh, I'm just like, this is how I am, I don't know how to change or whatever, then you might not want to proceed. You might start to consider. And also just value yourself. I think a lot of women sometimes can be very hung up on being in a relationship, and they'll give up a lot of what they would want for themselves, for the relationship. So also ask yourself, are you sacrificing who you are, what your values are, what you want for another person? And, I think a lot of the times when women start looking at themselves from a value perspective and think, actually, I'm worthy of a person who doesn't do this to me, really sees me as an asset in their lives, then a lot of the relationships wouldn't be moving forward. They'll be just like, actually, no, that's not the person for me. What you've shown me in the past is not good enough, so I'm just going to look for something that's good enough. So I think those would be my things to kind of mention around that.
All right, we need to be winding up on the conversation. Maybe Mercy, what would be your final take on all this?
I would say for me, if you betray me, as I had said earlier, if you're my close friend and you betray me, rebuilding the trust, it will take time, but I don't think it will be back to 100%, because I'll be asking myself so much questions. I'll be like, if I gave 100% trust from the beginning and then I got betrayed, and right now I give her maybe the second chance, how much more will she betray me, you know? And, you know, as someone had said, you know, the memories that we had created, the words they had maybe said to us, you don't know which ones were real or they were just faking.
Okay.
So for me, just as they said earlier, yes, you can rebuild it,
but it depends.
Yeah, it depends.
All right, Kevin.
I guess as we wind up, my take on this would be betrayal, the different kind of betrayals. So far we've addressed family, we've addressed friendships. Somebody mentioned about, you know, getting their source of income shut down. So I guess that would come from a professional point of view.
Yeah.
There are also betrayals in the professional setup, right?
Exactly.
Maybe a colleague, a coworker betrayed you.
Yeah.
So all of these betrayals, there are different ways to work towards rebuilding the trust. I do believe trust can be rebuilt. You know, the time, allowing them space and time for healing, the boundaries, as she had said, but there's also the aspect of taking care of yourself, you know, work on yourself. Make sure that if something like this were to happen again, it won't affect you as much. It won't cause you to like completely lose trust in everybody, because some people tend to be so affected by betrayal, they literally stop trusting anyone else, and you can't completely disconnect yourself from the world. That's not a very good way to live. So I think, yeah, betrayal can be, you can get past betrayal, but some people never really get over it.
Okay.
You find ways to work around it, you find ways to function normally around it, but you never really let go of it. But yeah,
okay,
people need to stop betraying each other.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's your final remarks. All right, I'll take your final remarks, Rose.
For me, as the betrayed, it is important to not make it about myself. Rather, their character flaw. It's not about me. It is important for me to take care of myself. For me, the biggest form of betrayal is betrayal after betrayal. That is, if you betrayed me and you're not telling me the entire truth about the betrayal that happened, that's the biggest form of betrayal. You have to be truthful and honest. Hata kama itani hurt, just tell me the whole truth.
Yeah.
And that calls for trust issues in people. It makes people to not trust again. And so walls are built, more walls are built around that person. So yeah, that is my take. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bilson?
My final take is we have to understand that communication in this time of rebuilding is good. And also, for me, I can forgive someone, depends with the action or how consistent that person is and the action that the person takes. We have to understand the nature of the betrayal, and also for me, I will really pick for that trust to be rebuilt over time. Nasema usiforce issues. Unataka tu nikusamee mara moja. Hata kuforce issues. Very relax. Let me take my time. It's my wewe ndo umenikosea. Si ati I give myself time.
Yeah.
That will be my final take.
All right, and I'll take your final takes, but I want to read this message and maybe you can base your final take on the same. Maybe Sakwa. Someone is saying, good morning, my people. Nobody will ever convince a betrayed man that he can heal fully. I was betrayed by someone I trusted so much. Trust me, I was done with love. Haki mimi huwa naona wapenda nao na wahurumia sana. That is Alex from Meru. Maybe you can base it from there where someone has lost complete trust in everyone, really.
There is a bad space to find yourself in. And clearly, as you say, from the conversation that we've had here in all aspects of betrayal, we need to find space to heal and be able to move to the next level.
Yeah.
The reason being that, as we've agreed, this world we are not living as individuals, but we're living in a community of setting of people.
Yeah.
And so it is important that at the end of the day, it is you who holds the key to that decision on how you want to move forward. So by knowing that you hold the key to that decision of how you want to move forward, then either you let go of that particular relationship and move and heal faster, then you move to the next level. And then you can still find, in all this world, we are told that all of us are born with some innate goodness in us. We don't do things because we intend to do them to hurt others, but sometimes we do things that fall short of what other people are expecting of us. So in actual sense, I will say that he needs to find space to seek therapy and possibly walk around a journey that can be able to revive his emotions to the extent of loving again.
All right.
Because we need each other.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's also another question here that I would appreciate if you would answer this one. They're asking, how do you know when it's wise to forgive and try and rebuild, and when it's wise to just leave it and walk away?
Yeah, and I guess that's a question you would never know until you do it, because you don't know. People are very interesting. So you can never know that this is one, if I forgive, they'll never do it again. Because I said we're not that one-dimensional. But I think what I can say to this person is you have got to trust yourself with that you have the ability to move forward after a betrayal has happened. And you have to really put in the work to trust yourself, because I think when people close doors forever and go, I wouldn't, like the man before that said, oh, you know, I feel sorry for people in relationship.
Okay.
You cannot afford to do that, because you're closing your chances of actually having a life that you could potentially enjoy with another person. So I would just say, trust yourself in your ability to move forward after a betrayal. And also remember, people are people, they are going to betray you. So don't be so shocked that you fall apart completely and lose yourself because you've been betrayed. Unfortunately, it's a human trait. It's likely going to happen to all of us multiple times. The quicker we know that people do this, the easier we can move on. It's like, okay, yeah, people cheat, people lie, people betray, people love, and that's just life.
Yeah, and I think for someone who has made it a pattern, then I think that should be reason enough for you to now move on completely, because 100%. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again,
100%.
Then what, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's also important to note. And this is where we get to end this conversation. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for just being part and parcel of this discussion. And thank you so much to each and every one of you who has sent in your comments. There are so many, we couldn't read through all of them, but we've seen all of them. And we thank you for always being part of our conversations every Monday when we tackle matters family. Now, I can see my colleagues on the other end, and I'm sure they were following on this conversation. And when we talk about trust and betrayal, I'm sure we can all relate to it in one way or the other. Victor, would you say that you can be able, or are you in a position to forgive and be able to rebuild trust after a betrayal from a loved one?
Not necessarily from a loved one. Betrayal can even come from us here as colleagues.
Yes.
Let me give an example. Betrayal in politics, because that's now what I can talk about. We've seen how politicians come back together and work together even after political betrayal. Do you understand that? See who has worked with who since independence. They go their separate ways and then later on come to work together. There is something called personal interest. When you want to have your personal interest, more so when it comes to healing, then you have to accept the fact that it has happened. But the process of healing takes time. It's a daily work. You'll have to seek professional therapy, the way you're talking about. You'll have to accept the point. The thing is, betrayal is painful. Because once that is lost, you give yourself, your emotions, your physical, contribution, financial, spiritual, all those things. And then all of a sudden it disappears. How much does it hurt? Vivian, you, wait. How much is it?
I mean, it's always very painful.
Painful, right?
It's too painful.
Yeah. But Mike has got a shock absorber.
Does he?
He can be betrayed. Now, kutu sawa tu.
No.
Why are you speaking for him?
No. Betrayal and the whole aspect of forgiveness and trust.
Yes.
Forgiveness and trust, they are not like decisions you just flip your hands like that and it happens. No. Forgiveness is a process and rebuilding trust is a process.
Yes.
But then again, forgiveness may come before that trust. And that trust may not be rebuilt to 100% because you'll have a perception of the person who broke your trust.
It's called the trauma.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think, yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just okay to love people from a distance. I believe in that. You don't really need to rebuild some trust. You just forgive them for your own sake and then love them from a distance.
It helps.
Just move on.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be my take. Sometimes you just don't force it. Walikuwa nasema tusiforce saa zingine. Ikikataa imekataa.
That's why kuna kuangalia hiyo saying once beaten twice shy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there should always be room for building and all that. Yeah.
It's quite interesting. There's something here from someone says, I also need help. I've been passing through the same thing. I've been trying to fight for my love back, but I don't bear any fruit. I feel like I'm losing myself because I really love her. Hey, boss. And I was seeing a future with her. I'm hurt.
That's coming from the bottom.
Mike, we need to call him for a meeting.
Yeah. Another one is saying betrayal is one of the saddest realities experienced in human relationship.
But on a serious note, because such a message is heavy.
Yeah.
When you pour, actually it's called, it's Brian, he needs help. So any professional help out there to advise Brian on what to do? Because this emotional betrayal.
Yeah. And somehow it ties to psychological it has to tie somewhat to psychology. So
I think Brian should seek for therapy.
Exactly.
When it comes to relationship matters, there are relationship experts. We've hosted them here.
Yes. Quite
a lot of times. This is a serious therapy that is needed. When it comes to relationships, that hurts a lot. You pour your heart out, you give your all, and the way he's saying that he was seeing a future with her. For men, I will speak in under 30 seconds. Men get physical before they get emotional. Women get emotional before they get physical. And once we become physical, our emotional attachment is rock solid. So when that is broken, it is broken. So Brian needs help.
Yeah.
Okay. How about we leave it at that?
Yep.
Thank you so much to each and every one of you who has been watching the show. We always appreciate you starting off your day right here with us. My name is Vivian Ndegwa.
I'm Victor Lo.
My name is Mike Migwe. Thank you for tuning in.
Goodbye.
The wait is over. KBC Iko Huduma Center. Starting with Nairobi, kupata huduma za KBC imekuwa rahisi. From digital guidance and signet services to booking of commercial adverts and documentaries. Visit our dedicated desks at Huduma Center GPO, Times Square, Makadara, Kibera, or Eastleigh. Tunakungoja hapo. Whether it's a casual announcement or a specialized media solution for your business, we are here to serve you. KBC at Huduma Centers, moving closer to you. Your station, your service.
They sing about the truth and nothing but the truth, that God's timing is the best. And indeed it is for Purity Kandie, who has proved that she's capable of becoming a distinguished member of the society despite her intellectual disability. Kandie was born with Down syndrome, and her family, led by her father Julius Kosgei and mother Ann, embraced her condition and raised her as any other normal child despite facing challenges along the way.
Purity Kandie was born mentally challenged, and we really passed so many difficulties in raising her. And also, you see, most of the people were actually wondering what happened to this child. And anyway, we took care of our child. When she was young, we loved her. In fact, we showed her love more than even the other children. And she grew when she felt that she's being loved by the family.
And that is why she's been able to help out in household chores without any hitches, helping the gardening and farming at home.
She could not feel that she's a mentally challenged person, no. She took herself to be a normal child. That's why she could do all other things. And let me tell you, this daughter of mine, she does a lot of things in the family. From house paralysis, washing house, dishes, feeding even animals, feeding chickens. She does a lot of things. And
they eventually found a school which was willing to accept her, and there was no looking back, as it has nurtured her talent to the highest level. And with the help of Special Olympics Kenya, she's been able to represent the country in 2 Special Olympic Games in Abu Dhabi and Berlin, where she boasts of 2 gold medals and a silver in the 50 meters dash and a standing jump, including a first-class model in dancing. Oh, how she loves to dance.
We had a challenge when we went to school. Most of the school could not accept her because of the mentally challenged. I think, if I can remember, we took almost 3 to 4 schools. It's only one school that accepted her, that's the Kitale school. And let me tell you, what God has planned for this child, nobody can know. Because even the schools that refused to accept her, they have now come to realize that this child had some talent. She's a national figure.
She even features for the AIC Nuru Gospel Choir. She is among the winners of the prestigious Sawyer Awards, and most of all, she was conferred a head of state commendation by President William Ruto in the 2024 Jamhuri Day celebrations. Purity Kandie is indeed an inspiration for persons with intellectual disabilities, for proving that if we choose to include, we will be changing the perceptions of many so that they are integrated into the society. And why is that? Because we are better together. all belong to this world. We all need to feel appreciated and respected and loved because everyone matters. So choose to include.
People will not believe that beauty will go to that extent of even being an international person. So I want to take this opportunity to thank so much the Kitale School that it has mentored this child to be where it is. And also I take the opportunity to thank so much the Olympic team, because you are the people who have made this child to be where she is. She's a very lovely lady.